Akila, I don't know if you can hear me, but I will email you the bill for 5508. I'll email the presentation to you right now.
The audio may not be working. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start over.
All right, starting over, roll call. Senator Lazo.
Present.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Herrera. Okay.
Yeah, let's start.
All right, starting over, roll call. Senator Lazo.
Present. Present.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Herrera.
Present.
Over, roll call. Senator Lazo.
Present. Present.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Over, roll call. Senator Lazo.
This is just
Present. Present.
Trainer. Aiden Trainer. Aiden Trainer. All right. Neva Cruzat.
Present.
eBay. Senator eBay. Absent. Kana. Morissette.
Present.
Temple.
Present.
Vaughan.
Present.
Bishop.
Present.
Kringle. Adam.
Present.
Okay. Datulis, she's excused. DeCara. Butler. Butler. Elise Butler. Absent. Campbell. Al Campbell. Great. Castillo. Eric Castillo. Absent. Lazier.
Present, I think.
Pintel.
Present.
Hamid.
Present.
Larson was dismissed, correct?
Now I'm back and I'm present.
There he is. Okay. Rose.
Here.
Whitson.
Here.
Yetta.
Present.
Quiroga.
Present.
Carter.
Present.
Samilo.
Present.
Hamayan.
Present.
Nadella. Pranav Nadella. No, gotcha. Absent. Ishan Patel.
Present.
Yalamanchili.
Present.
Shaw.
Present.
Acosta. Borges.
Here.
Duke. Excused. Hochfelder. Matthew Hochfelder. Okay. Speaker Holmes. Not excused or absent. Hurst.
Here.
Kazay. Artin Kazay. Absent. Barnett. Tyler Barnett. Absent. Lacasse.
Here.
Valera. Pullman.
Present.
Richmond.
Present.
I'm here. Vasquez.
Present.
Kairos Rivera. Rivera. Absent. DeMarla
Here.
and Matal.
Present.
With 34 out of 48, quorum is verified.
Perfect. Is there, look at last meeting's agenda, see if there is an approval of the minutes. Chair Hurst.
Motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
There's a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we move to approval of the agenda. Chair Temple.
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
There's a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we move to open forum. Kaze. Well, I think he's not in the Zoom, probably because it starts at a different time now. But he left a nice note, so everyone should just take a read at it. But now we move on to announcements from the student body president, President Greenaway.
Hi, Senate. I hope all is well. Just some updates from me. This week, I had a meeting with Dana Jutnan, who is the interim dean of students, as well as Michael Gilmer, who oversees student conduct. So just some updates in the world of CAPS. So a new program that they invested money into for this upcoming school year is the Better Mind program. So other schools in the Florida system use this program as well. It's a virtual mental health counseling system. So basically students have access to it. So there's a certain amount of credits that the university bought, and if there's more demand for it, they're gonna purchase more credits, but that program will allow students to meet with a virtual counselor on it, like whenever they need to, honestly. And we kind of have been talking about ways to just advertise this resource so students know that this is available to them. So that is coming in the fall. We also discussed the emergency response following the hurricane. And we do plan on having a follow-up conversation, especially with financial aid, because when Student Care Services was giving money to those in need, there were some issues with students that have financial aid not receiving the disbursement. So we want to kind of get rid of some of that red tape. So in case of an emergency, students are able to receive the money and resources that they need in a very timely manner. So that's a conversation that we'll be having as the fall is approaching. Also this week, cabinet members participated in QPR training. So that's a suicide prevention training. The chief of police invited us to participate, and I will also get that information over to the speaker and pro temp if senators are interested in participating in the future. It was definitely very informational and definitely very beneficial. Because senators weren't elected last week, the scholarship committee meeting has been pushed back to August 2nd at 3 p.m. on Zoom to elect the chair and vice chair. Hopefully you guys get to that tonight. And also supervisor and assistant supervisor of elections applications will open up tomorrow with their confirmations to be seen at the beginning of the fall. And that's all from me.
Are there any questions for President Greenaway? Seeing none. Comptroller's report.
The CRT balance is 472,470 with a 0% reversion rate, and then the FAO balance is 248,468 and 96 cents with a 0.56% reversion rate.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, Attorney General's report, Attorney General Moore.
Is it on? Yeah. Hello. I was gonna confirm because it's usually never on. Good evening, Senate. Last Friday, I attended judicial retreat and gave presentations explaining my goals and ways that we can collaborate for future initiatives. This week I had a judicial advising appointment with external assistant Chief Justice Rivera that went well, and we are going to be taking appointments together because we're getting super busy for some reason right now and to prepare for fall. And I also sponsored a resolution for a new ad hoc caucus for military and veterans alongside Justice Collazo. And we are excited to hear that on the Senate floor this evening.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, Deputy Chief of Staff. Oh, and then Senator Nadella. Are you present in voting? Yeah, Sandlin, if you can just note, both Senator Nadella and then Senator Brown are present.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a good night. I'm here to give Peter's report to you all. So he says, hi, everyone. I hope your day's been good or been going well. He says, sorry that he couldn't be here. He's in class right now. And just some updates from him about SGLC. Him and the coordinators met and they discussed over what the fall semester is going to look like. They're going to have 3 committees, which are Nighthon, Experience Committee, and then an agency committee. And they're going to be having 9 lessons in total, as well as a holiday banquet where they'll get their respective leadership council reveals. If you can come to any of these sessions, we'd love to see you all. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Peter.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, are you also doing the Director of Communications?
Yeah.
report? Okay.
So just some updates from Laura. She says she sent out an email regarding how to communicate with the comms division to branch heads through NQ. Please join the student government's photo circle account that was sent out on the same email. This is so that she has all photos from all agents who want to be included and or featured on any of our socials. And this can be any photos related to student government. And she also says thank you to those who have been requesting or have been submitting requests. She will also be reaching out to each caucus to highlight them soon for the social media. And our social media following has been rising quickly as the incoming class has been informed of that. So that is great for us to continue engagement and increase awareness. And she says to feel free to email her at any time about any questions.
Perfect. Are there any questions for our Chief of Staff? Oh, Chair Hurst.
Can you give me a reminder of how we do the request?
Yeah. So the requests will all go through NQ. So it's like this platform that you just kind of have to log in either with your SG email or your own. And you just submit, like there's it'll ask you like the dates, the times, what you want your graphic to look like, things like that. So it's just all through that one platform.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, announcements from the Chief of Justice.
Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Last Friday, the judicial branch had their summer retreat. The retreat covered every single one of the justices' initiatives for this year and their game plan on how to get those initiatives executed, and an in-depth training on Title IX. I intend to further just like broaden the knowledge of Title IX for the months to come before putting out a full-blown Title IX campaign, because I want to make sure that all of our justices are adequately prepared to take on Title IX cases. So one of those things being a psychological first aid certification. It's about 5 hours, and I intend to make every justice that is looking into taking Title IX cases to have that certification. And additionally, on Monday, I will be meeting with Dr. Humberto Lopez from Spanish Department of Modern World Languages to discuss our initiative of translating the Knight Connect forms to Spanish. And additionally, I would just like to kindly and humbly urge all the fiscal chairs to follow up with me on their email to get the fiscal workshop planned and executed. I understand that everyone's very busy, you know, it's summer, but I just can't do this without you guys. And the justices are very eager to learn. So that is all. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chief Justice Silva? Seeing none, thank you. Announcements from the Supervisor of Elections, none. Announcements from the Activity and Service Fee Committee, Chair, none. Announcements from the Scholarship Committee, Chair, none. Announcements from Senate President Holmes, none. Internal Legislative Assistant Report, Pullman.
Hi, everyone. So we had our second coordinator meeting on Tuesday, and we really made a lot of progress with the fundamental structure of how we want the committees to operate. Peter's announcement touched on the mother load of it, but we're just basically trying to like revamp the committees and find better ways to keep the SGLCers excited about them. And that's all I have.
Are there any questions? Chair Simillo?
I just had a question about what the agency committee entails. Like, what does that mean? Can you go more in depth of what's going to come from that?
Yeah, so to my understanding, the agency committee is going to look more like, we're still like in the process of planning it, but it's going to look more like an outreach type committee, and they can do more like polling, and they can kind of be the ones spreading the mission about student government. I think that's like one of the major points of it, but we're still in the process of planning. But I know we are going to be taking out spirit and volunteer.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. External legislative assistant report, Richmond.
5, please fill out the when to meet to schedule our mock dean meetings. And please fill out the Google form so we can schedule the dean meetings and so I can know y'all's concerns. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Richmond? Seeing none, thank you. Senate President Pro Tempore. Unfortunately, Sierra is sick, so I hope she recovers soon, and bear with me while I try to run this meeting. This is a reminder to check your email often. Both me and my 2 deputies are constantly sending information / notices about financial training and RSO emailing, which is necessary for y'all to stay on top of. Additionally, leadership meetings are going well and we'll continue to have them as we transition into the fall. Today we have a really packed agenda, so please keep your reports just straight to the point and pertinent. You can type more. I know obviously people like to put wellness checks in their reports, which are fine, but only speak on what is necessary so we can go through and make sure that we hit everything, because this is our last meeting of the summer. Any questions? Seeing none. Oh, sorry, Chair Hurst.
Does this include history facts?
Yes, no history facts unless we have time at the end. Sorry, Ethan and
Thank you.
Bihan. Oh, Chair Kanal.
We register an objection just for the record for the history facts, please.
We'll note that informally. D-Leg Morset report, none. DISA report, none. Caucus reports, APIA caucus, none. Black caucus, none. Disability caucus, none. Latin Hispanic caucus, Chair DeCara.
Today we had a really short meeting. We just recapped a few things, such as getting ready for the fall, especially for Hispanic Heritage Month, since it's almost 3 weeks into the fall semester. Additionally, we had Shelby Melfi, who's the Knights of Distinction coordinator. She joined us and spoke with us about the program. Knights of Distinction is one of the many programs that we want to ensure students are able to learn about and hopefully apply to join. Additionally, me and Vice Chair Blanco are getting things organized and in place to ensure that when the fall semester begins, we will be at the same level as other caucuses that hit the ground running.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chair DeCara? Seeing none, LGBTQ plus caucus chair Carter.
Hey everyone, we'll be meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. to plan our workshop out. Come if you can. We would love to have new input on things we're planning, and that's all from me.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chair Carter? Seeing none, Women's Caucus Chair, vacant. We are now in unfinished business. We have 2 confirmations. The first one is for Election Commission seat number 6, Max Kuskov. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Are they here right now? They might also just be assuming we're starting at 6. Do you... Okay, well, is Stephanie Henriquez here?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. So we'll start with you. And do we have a motion? Chair Hurst.
Motion for 5-minute speech, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate.
There's a motion for 5-minute speech, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Stephanie, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, and then I'll just let you know if you hit that 4-minute mark.
All right, thank you. Hi, Senate. My name is Stephanie Enriquez. I'm going to be a sophomore this fall at UCF. I'm majoring in media production and management, and I'm minoring in legal studies. And just a little bit about what I've done this summer. I've gotten dual certifications in social media marketing. And I truly believe marketing tactics will truly help the Election Commission. Just kind of to share my experience with marketing in high school, I headed a pediatric cancer initiative. My first year started out pretty small with 20 members, second year hit 70, and my third and final year, I reached 150 members in the club and was able to fundraise a few thousand. So I am aware that this past year, student government had low candidacy rates, and I want to help with these marketing tactics to improve not only candidacy, but also voter turnout. And I shared 3 proposals, and all of them kind of followed a similar vein in which, they kind of address the 5 W's, which are, pretty basic and fundamental to sharing information. But they also would have candidate information and then links on where you can find more information and kind of like a one like spot to find everything in regards to the upcoming election. So my first proposal was to send a mass email to Knight's emails, which I do know they're migrating. So now just basically a mass email to the UCF emails. My second proposal would be a pop-up banner on the UCF mobile app, basically saying the UCF student government election is coming up, and kind of click here to learn more. And then my third one would be to further utilize the student government Instagram and kind of focus the efforts in the fall semester where you utilize Instagram stories and ask, for example, post a poll and say, do you intend on voting in the fall? And kind of, gauging these metrics to see where the student body is at in regards to that. That way in the spring, the strategy could be how can we market accordingly and, use the aforementioned proposals to really make sure that not only UCF students know about the election, but are encouraged to actually, log in and vote or show up to the voting polls. I just think that with these proposals, the bottom line is with information exposure, people, first of all, know about the election in the first place, and will get, an incentive to vote. And with a higher voter turnout, there would be increased election integrity, which would be supported by, a more representative population of UCF voting. I know that was only like 3.5 minutes, but I yield the rest of my time.
Yes, thank you. Are there any questions? I'll take at least 2 questions. Chair Carter?
With the ideas that you had to like promote the elections, which ones do you think you would want to work with people on first? Like in terms of the election commission and the rest of student government?
I would say the mass email, only because it seems the most plausible, because with the UCF mobile app idea, I would have to work with the UCF digital learning services. I guess technically with the mass email, I would have to work with IT and, get approval from exec or whoever it may be on if it's okay to send it out. But I kind of think it's kind of hard. I guess first, technically, the student government Instagram story idea, because that has to do more with the fall semester engaging metrics. And then I would say the mass email, because that has to do with the spring and, like right before the election actually happens.
Chair Carter, is that another question?
Yes.
Oh, you can go.
Okay. How do you think your marketing background would benefit the election commission?
I feel like I've dealt a lot with trial and error and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And, in my experience, people don't or people are at least hesitant to participate in something unless they realize, there's like a kind of mutual benefit from it. And I understand a lot of people this past year were like upset with student government budget cuts and whatnot. But I think if people, took the time to actually like understand that they're in charge of like voting for the people in student government, and those people can represent their budget and what is actually like within their control and not within their control, then people, would be less inclined to kind of speak so negatively about it in the first place. So I think people kind of just maybe have a little bit of a misconception of, how powerful or important their vote can be to feel represented and actually be represented by the student government.
Acosta?
If you don't mind me asking, Stephanie, what exactly inspired you to take part this role?
I really wanted to be a part of student government because I did have, a few different proposals and ideas, but I wasn't necessarily sure where, or I guess what outlet per se, to get these ideas out in. So I actually asked President Greenaway about, his opinion on what branch he thinks I should apply for. And he let me know of all the different branches and whatnot. And I didn't actually know much about the election commission. And because I hadn't heard much about it, but I had heard of all the other branches, it actually prompted me to look into it.
Chair Carter?
One last question. Do you know how many tier violations there are during election season? And can you name an example of a violation from any tier?
I believe there's 3 tiers, and I could not tell you exactly which violation the one I'm about to give as an example is, but I know, for example, you can't put out promotional material before active campaigning starts. So if that was found, or it was found in a location that's like deemed like illegal or past a certain time, like for example, like in the dorms at 2 a.m. you're campaigning and whatnot. I know those are all violations, so I couldn't tell you, which specifically which tier that falls under.
Acosta?
I'm sorry, before I forget, present and voting?
So noted. It was like at 5:35 p.m. It's been a while, but
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
and I'll say that it was 5:35. Are there any other questions? Chair Carter?
Move to debate.
There's a motion to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Chair Carter?
The candidate has like an understanding of the election rules, and then with their marketing background, that could really bring something strong to the commission, especially with their concern and plan to increase student turnout and involvement in student government elections.
Or Eli Richmond?
The candidate seems very well qualified and like she'll do a great job, so I'll be voting in favor.
Is there any more debate? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Kanal?
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now voting. With a vote count of 31 to 0 to 3, Stephanie Henriquez has been appointed for ECC2. Please tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but congratulations.
No, you pronounced it pretty well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reese, were you able to see if Max is in the? Okay, no worries. We'll just move on for now and come back if he decides to join us at 6. Okay. Fiscal committee caucus time, none. Fiscal committee report, CRT committee chair Similo.
I don't know why my mic did not just work, y'all. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so in committee on 7/24/23 in new business, we approved allocations 55043, 55046, 55047, 55048, 55049, and we also approved bills 5507 and 5508. With that being said, we approved 5 allocations and 2 fiscal bills. We do have both of those bills to see on second and third reading, so just please be conscientious of our time.
Are there any questions? Oh. Sorry, guys, I had both my mics on. Are there any questions for Chair Similo? Seeing none. Guys, turn on your cameras. My face is blown up on the screen and this is so embarrassing. I really want someone else to put their camera on. Thank you. FAO committee chair Butler.
I don't think Butler is in the Zoom, but I can give the report if that's okay.
Yeah, if
Sorry, I did that again. If you have the exact numbers, like of what you approved and what you denied, if you could type that in, because we do need it like in the actual agenda to recognize it.
Okay, yeah. I can type it in after I
Sorry,
give. I can type it in like after. It's just really quick.
Okay, yeah, if we can come back to you,
Okay.
we'll come back to you. Oh.
Chair Hurst.
Motion to move back to unfinished business. He's here.
Max, are you ready for your appointment?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. You'll have 5 minutes whenever you're ready. So just let me know.
Okay, I'm ready now, if that's okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Hello, Senate. My name is Max Kustikov, and I'm currently double majoring in computer science and finance. So I think a good way to start this off is answering why I applied for election commission. Whenever I join a new school or community, I like to participate in the organizations that make it a fair, credible, and democratic place. It happens to be that at UCF, the election commission is that place. I'm committed to upholding the values of my community, and I believe that the election commission is a valuable organization to promote and keep those values. And if you give me the opportunity to help maintain fairness in a place that, you know, I call home, I'm going to do my best to exceed expectations for that role. I seek to establish a passion among students in using their right to vote as a tool to get their voices heard. And by becoming an EC, I can promise to devote nothing but my fullest drive to contributing to this institution. By upholding Title VI, I'll strive to create an environment where every student feels empowered to vote and participate actively in selecting their representatives. There's a quote by Charlie Munger that I believe can relate to helping increase voter turnout. It goes, "Show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome." And since I believe that most students at UCF are motivated individuals, they all have something that they strive toward. So if you show students what candidates are vowing to do or what candidates strive to do when they get elected, and that incentivizes more students to become civically active, it aligns both of their incentives. I'll get into the specifics in a bit. But essentially, I aim to make voting an act of empowerment and sort of testament to each student's commitment to helping our institution's future. So the two broad ideas that I can bring to the table are, well, first, a quick disclaimer. I don't know the limitations or the freedom of EC's budget yet, but the following ideas could be modified accordingly. So the first idea is challenges. So we can create this sort of incentive challenges, such as the first 150 people to vote earn a free water bottle, or another incentive challenge example was the 1,000th person to vote earns a free hoodie. And you create these challenges that sort of have students like a way to give students a reason to act, and it motivates students to act, and what they're doing or what they're acting on is purely a beneficial thing. The second idea is creating a platform online that shows what the policies of each candidate are. So I know that there are like interview questions and candidates can do their own campaigning, but my vision for this would be like adding a QR code on each of the flyers that promote voting, where once a user scans it, it could take them to like a web page where they see the images of the candidates who are running. And once they tap on the images spin animatedly. And on the back, you can see the candidates' policies, and you can see like their answers to interview questions or whatnot. So those are my broad ideas. I yield my time.
Thank you, Chair Daedalus or Senator Daedalus.
President voting.
So noted at 5:55 p.m. We are now in a period of questioning. Chair Temple.
All right, thank you, Madam President Marler. Mr. Kustikov, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, awesome. I wanted to make sure I pronounced that correctly. So I can reckon that you are very passionate when it comes to engaging students in their civic duties in terms of voting. We have had some candidates now, commissioners, who have positive interest in making sure that students are not only voting in student government elections, but also in actual state, local, and federal elections, particularly the 2024 election. I wanted to gauge, how interested are you in ensuring that students are voting in that election as well, in addition to SG elections?
Sure. I think that's a good question. I'm very, very interested in promoting all sorts of elections, especially since the next election will be my first time that I'm able to vote. So yeah, I can most definitely say, passionately say that I would love to promote all sorts of elections.
Senator Hamid.
Hi, so on your resume, it says that you've worked at 3 different places. I just wanted to know, what is something that you might have learned at one of those places that you think would help you in this commission?
Sure. I think all of those places have, well, they taught me to like, get outside of my shell, where it's not necessarily like natural for me to like, I don't know, be sort of like extroverted and like try to make an appearance in like everything that I join in. But I think joining EC and doing everything that I've done in my resume is just sort of to make me more comfortable with, making a presence, making a change, like having an impact through this sort of, I call it extroverted, but it's not. I'll stick with that, through this sort of like extroverted phase.
Are there any more questions? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Hurst?
Move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Chair Temple.
All right, so just listening to what Mr. Kustikov said, I will be voting in favor of the candidate tonight, not the least, but because they do seem very passionate about becoming an election commissioner, and I'm very excited in particular about what he tends to do for the 2024 elections, because I know that's incredibly important, and that's going to be where most of us will be voting for our first time in the presidential election. So the more people that are dedicated to that, the better.
Chair Hurst.
So this candidate also showed a similar amount, if not more, of their drive to be part of this EC commission when they were taken an ENA and approved an ENA a couple of weeks ago. I am very happy that he's still be able to come to this meeting and be able to be confirmed. I know it's been quite a long road to do that, but I do appreciate you continuing to do so, and I'll be voting in favor.
Is there any more debate? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Canal.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now voting. With a vote count of 31 to 0 to 5, Max, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, I apologize, Kustikov.
That was good. That was good. I appreciate it.
Has been appointed to election commissioner seat 6. Congratulations. Senator Kaze, do you want to say present voting or give your open forum speech?
President voting.
So noted at 6 p.m. Do you still want to talk in open forum or?
Yes, if I may.
So what have I been saying? Oh. Chairs.
Motion to return to open forum.
There's a motion to return to open forum. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in open forum.
Oh, hi everyone. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. So, so I'm gonna be leaving because I'm graduating soon. So I want to say, I hope everyone is well. This is my last Senate session, so I want to say, you've all been amazing. And it's been wonderful working with y'all. Judging by the interactions, you guys are all great, and everyone in here has a bright future just from interacting with everyone. Our generation has a bright future, seeing everything on campus and everything. So I love you all, and let's continue this Senate session for the summer, the last one.
Those are some very kind words. We appreciate you and we'll miss you. So feel free to stop by, our Senate meetings or just in the office. We still love you and appreciate you. But it's sad to see you go. Are there any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion to move back to FAO committee chair report?
So moved.
We are now in FAO committee chair report. Chair Butler.
Can I do present and voting?
So noted at 6 p.m.
Okay, and I'm not on the site yet, so Carter can read it.
Okay, so in committee, this week we approved 5504, 5505, 5506, and 5507. So we approved 4 allocations, and denied 0. We didn't postpone indefinitely any allocations either. And we also voted on the artwork for the allocations.
Thank you. Any questions for FAO committee? Seeing none, or as committee chair Borges.
Hey guys, I'm not going to read the numbers. I'm not going to bore you guys. One of the really important things, 2 of the really important things happening today are the 2 elections for Scholarship Committee and ANSF. Please make sure you're paying attention to those, asking a lot of questions. That's really important. For my committee, you're on a fiscal committee. Please ask questions or please run. That's all for me.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chair Borges? Seeing none. Fiscal legislation, notice of legislation on first reading, none. Notice of legislation on third reading, Fiscal Bill 5506, funding for Night Riders Motorcycle Club to host Fall Night Riders Track event. D-Leg Morissette. Or Chair Hurst.
Motion.
Oh, you're right. Thank you.
Can I make?
Yes,
Motion for 5-minute speech, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate.
there's a motion for 5-minute speech, 5-minute questioning, and 5-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, D-Leg Morissette, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, or if the RSO is here, you can. yield.
The RSO should be present.
If you want to just yield to them right now.
I don't see them in attendance, but I'll yield in case someone else that like didn't tell me they were coming. I yield to the RSO.
Okay, perfect. Do you have a presentation or anything, or?
Hello, sorry, are you speaking to me?
No, we're speaking for Night Riders.
Oh, so sorry.
No worries. Senator Hodgfelder,
Voting and present.
so noted at 6:04 PM. Vihan, we're just pulling up the presentation right now. You can see it that way. And no, it's not shared on the Zoom. You can go whenever you're ready.
Okay, hi. Sorry. My name is Carter Dabney. I'm here for the UCF Night Riders. This is the third hearing, so I know a lot of you have probably heard it twice now. But we try to have motorcycle track again. I'm gonna go 2 slides. We do have a video. I'm not going to bother with the video today, though, as it is the third reading. But the purpose of the event is to kind of give students like a safe space to improve their skills. Sorry, I'm a little flustered. It's just to like give the students like a safe place to practice all their skills at like different speeds, with inside a track, with coaching and all the safety precautions you would ever need or expect. We do have 12 coaches coming to the event. They've been doing motorcycle stuff for more than some of our students have even been alive. So they know what they're talking about. Next slide, please. A little bit about the track. It's one of only 2 Florida motorcycle like tracks in Florida, the other one being in Miami, and it is Homestead, which they hold like car races and stuff there too. The track isn't quite as well maintained, hence why we try to stay with Jennings. We've also been doing Jennings for as long as we've been doing our track events, so we kind of have a good history with the management staff and the coaches that we've met there. At the track, we will camp there. There's on-site like running water. Obviously, it's not middle. Well, it is in the middle of nowhere, but it's not off the grid, so to speak. So it's usually students will come together and camp, and it's kind of like it is a whole weekend thing. Yeah, next slide. Okay. So there are like a few requirements to participate. Obviously, you do have to have like a motorcycle that is in well-maintained condition. They will, at the beginning of Saturday and Sunday, our coaches do motorcycle tech or like inspections where they just make sure that the motorcycle is in a good condition and functions properly, so you're not going to get on the track and be a danger to yourself and others. You do have to know how to have like knowledge of how a motorcycle works and like how to operate it. Works is kind of loose. It's more of, do you know how to operate it? And for that, we require a motorcycle endorsement. We do have sponsors that help teach students like motorcycle endorsement or like practices beforehand. So there is a lot of resources out there for students for that. The tracksuit, if you can go one more. Other requirements are tracksuits, boots, and gloves. Gloves aren't pictured. A lot of students have their own gloves from riding on the street. But the suit and boot is part of what we're asking for funding wise, is because they are usually more expensive and not every student has them. We want to make sure that it's easier for students to go so they can learn more about the track. So total cost of the event is just over $10,900. Track rental is $8,500 of that. The safety equipment, as pictured in the previous slide, is $1,100. That covers 5 sets for the weekend. And then the extra coaches, because they would be on top of the attending number of slots that we have. We're allotted 50 riding slots, and they're broken up into 3 groups. And so we would have 12 coaches to add into that mix. And for every person over 50, the track charges more. And that is the amount. When I submitted the bill, I submitted all like the screenshots that showed like why it's that much more. And then the stickers are $106.50 from Sticker Mule. The purpose of these stickers is, like I said, is there's 3 different classes. There's novice, intermediate, and advanced. So for novice, it's like your first time track attendees or people who are still kind of getting the hang of it. Intermediate is for people who it's probably their 3rd or 4th track time and they're picking up the pace a little bit, learning different things. And advanced is for those who have been there for a while. It is possible for some of our students to come out and jump to advanced on the first day if they've been riding long enough or they're just that skilled. A lot of our advanced people are also people who are alumni who continue to come back from our events. Next. Also, as you can see in the picture, there's it's a large group of us. A lot of that is coaching. Some of that is students from USF. Embry-Riddle comes out to most of our events, and we will have a few students from UF ready to attend this event. I kind of butchered this one a little bit. I know this is a 3rd hearing. Sorry, I'm probably missing some things, but I yield my time.
That was like perfectly on time. Are there any questions? Chair Hurst.
This is more for the committee. Has the numbers changed at all? Or any numbers changed? This would be to the committee chair. Samila has is it Snow? Yeah. Samila, has the numbers changed since we last saw this?
This is for FAO, so I don't know. Yeah, that's for me. Not that I know of. I can recheck, but not that I know of.
Oh, Chair Hamid.
Did you hear me? Or
So on the slide where it lists all the money, your total cost is 10,906.5, but half of that is not the number that is for what you're asking from SG. I can't access like the bill, so I don't know if it's different on the bill, but I just wanted to see if I was wrong. But I think that on the slide, what the funds asked for SG is incorrect.
Chair Kinlaw.
I'm assuming that the Jennings track is like Sebring in the layout in terms of like you guys stay inside the track. Are there like Was there plans to car camp for that, or how was that planned for students to stay overnight?
Can you go to the second slide real quick? So I've actually never been to Sebring, but the way the pit is set out is Jennings is, the picture's not gonna load, is it? Yeah, that second one. Huh. You can try to open that, it might show it better. It's kind of like a U shape overall, and so it's not technically inside the track where you stay, but that's where the pit is. And each, I don't even remember how many pits there are. We've never not had enough room. This might show it if you go like 5 seconds in. Okay. Well, how you just saw a little bit there, those are each 10 by 10 paddocks, I guess you could call them. They're concrete slabs for students to pit. It's usually 2 students per pit, and then they have all the area behind that for camping. And near that, probably like no more than 20 or 30 yards is the showers and restrooms and everything. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, so there you can see like some people have even like trailers or campers and stuff there, but all the little squares you see there are people's canopies. You can probably see some tents if you squint. I can't really see it from here, but that's like the pit lane, and so people go out there to go onto the trek, and that's where everybody stays. The larger structure in the lower right-ish area is the bathroom, and this drone footage is actually 5 or 6 years old. They've since added buildings on site that include like the classroom and the office, which is where our novice class meets before every session.
Are there, Chair Temple?
Yeah, just a point of information for Senator Hamid. The fiscal bill does reflect the $10,906.50, and as a result, the breakdown is accordingly. $5,453.25. Does that answer the senator's question or concern?
My question was like if on the bill, if it was just correct, but I believe it's incorrect on the bill because half of 10,906 is 5,453.25, but on the bill it's 5,423.25.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
For their total, what they're providing, it's correct, but our number is incorrect.
Okay, I see it now.
Wait, so is this a calculation error? So I'm access the document right now, so I can't. I'll see that as a technical. And also, is there, oh wait, I can't see that yet as technical. Is there a motion to go to debate? We're now in debate. I'll see that as a technical. Is there any debate? Chair Hurst.
Yeah, so we saw this group last year and we've seen them through first and second reading. Nothing has really adjusted other than technical pieces like numbers like that. I would be voting in favor.
Chair
I kind of just second what Chair Hurst said, although like I'm sitting here wondering, how do I join this? Like I want to take my little R1 out and vroom, 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 you know, but like whatever, I'm jealous. I hope you guys have a good time.
Chair Canal.
Yeah, echoing previous ones, voting in favor, and in part because I see how active they are on campus, especially on just tabling days out by the union. There really doesn't go more than a couple weeks without seeing them out there engaging with students. So I think this is just another great event and way for them to cultivate that culture around campus. So I'll be voting in favor.
Chair Temple,
Motion,
you may.
move to vote on fiscal bill 5506.
Motion to vote on fiscal bill 5506. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in the voting procedure. With the vote count of 37 to 0 to 1, this bill passes. Thank you so much. We're now in legislation, second reading, 55. 5507, funding for 4 members of the Human Factories and Ergonomics Society, ELA Richmond. And you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, or if the RSO is present.
I believe the RSO is present.
Okay, you can just yield to them.
I yield to them.
Hi, I have my slides here. Would I be able to share my screen?
Yes, huh? Yeah, you can share.
All right, give me just one moment while I'm setting this up. Oh, it says that I can't share my screen.
Can you try again and see if it works?
Yeah. Can everyone see? All right, I'm gonna assume it's all right. Oop, sorry, started a slide early. Hi everyone, I'm Kristen. I'm the president of the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society student chapter here at UCF. Today, I'm just requesting funding for members of our chapter to attend the 2023 Human Factors and Ergonomics Society's annual conference. Before speaking further on this, I want to first thank the student government for supporting our previous bills over the last 10 years. It's really supported our members in their career development and allowing them to attend this event. To talk a bit about the conference, we wish to receive funding for 5 of our members to attend the HFES annual meeting, which is the largest conference in our field. Just to give an overview, the field of human factors focuses on researching human-centered design, which is designing jobs and technology with the human user in mind so that they have the highest level of usability and accessibility. We are an officially affiliated student chapter to the HFES organization, so attending their annual meeting is very important to many of our members. At the conference, our members plan to receive awards, present their personal research, volunteer, attend various lectures and workshops, and network with industry and academic professionals. Attending the conference is also going to provide a wider benefit to the UCF community, including being able to represent UCF internationally. HFES is an international organization, so there are academics, researchers, and so on attending the conference from all over the world. And given that it allows our members to network with both other universities, other industries, and so on. It also allows us to collaborate with other universities. For example, last year we collaborated with a large social/networking event with George Mason University. It also allows our members to present research that we have conducted at UCF, which provides them with obviously invaluable speaking experience. It also informs the wider discipline, the wider field of the work that's being done at UCF in this field. And it also allows our members to receive feedback and advice on their research. Attending also allows us to promote our graduate program, which a majority of our members are in, the Human Factors and Cognitive Psychology PhD program. Again, to any people who might be interested. Aside from petitioning student government for funding, our members have also applied for travel fellowships, applied for grants, and applied to be student volunteers at the conference to help fund their way. Here is a breakdown of our expected costs. For registration for the 5 attendees, it's $175 a person, totaling to $875. We're requesting airfare for 4 of the 5 attendees. Our quoted airfare is $222.79 for a total of $891.16. And for hotel, we're requesting 2 rooms for 4 nights so that 2 rooms are shared between 2 and 3 members respectively. Price for the hotel is $324.66 per room per night. So it would be a total of $2,597.28. The total cost is listed on the screen, and we are requesting student government fund us for half of the total cost for a total of $2,181.72. Thank you. I have more information about the conference and our quotes if needed.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Chair Temple.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening. My question regards the prices, because I'm looking at the legislation here and it says that for registration, there are 5 members on the screen, but there are 4 listed on the bill.
Yes, so that was something I spoke with the CRT committee about. There is a student who is joining the graduate program and thus our chapter who requested to be added to the bill after we had submitted the original funding request. When I spoke to the CRT, they said that was fine to add as an amendment. Though if I need to do any further steps, I would be more than happy to hear what that would be.
Question, follow up, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
And this one directed to the CRT chair.
Go ahead.
All right, so just to confirm, you're willing to allow for an amendment that would add the additional 5th member to the bill?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
It's already in on our tracker for CRT. It just needs to be seen in Senate, so it just hasn't been added to everything.
Great. I will get on. I'm getting on the amendment now.
Chair Carter.
This is more of a technical thing on the bill, on the 5th whereas clause. It says after meeting, it says 2, but should be is 2.
To access the document. But Chair Hurst has a question. Where are you looking at that?
It was the 5th whereas clause.
The whereas clause? It'd be a technical, right? Okay. Oh, we're still in questioning. Are there any other questions? Chair Temple.
Another question to the RSO, just a follow-up. To confirm as well, the travel also follows what you had said with the registration, correct? You're adding that additional person as listed?
Yes, so the reason that it is slightly different is that one of the members that were on the original bill did not request airfare. So originally it was 3 people requesting airfare. With this additional person, it's 4.
So if I may confirm, is then the legislation should read that there is total cost should be $2,597.28 for lodging. Registration is $875. Travel is $891.16.
Yes, I believe so.
Awesome. Thank you.
Chair Carter?
It's just another grammar thing on the same clause. It says and also, but it would sound better grammatically with just saying and.
Yeah, I'll see those all in debate as technicals. Is there a motion? Oh, Chair Carter? Is there a motion to go to debate? So we are now in debate. I'll see all amendments in the document so far as technicals. Is there anyone that would like to debate? I'd like to hear at least two. Vice Chair Kringle.
Yeah, we've had them, seen them in committee. They are honestly an awesome group. This conference is one of the biggest ones they go to, I think, actually ever. It's a great chance for people to network and get some future careers. So I'll be voting yes.
Chair Carter.
I second what Kringle has said. In addition to the group has existed for since 1998, according to the document, and they go every year, and it seems to be very, very beneficial to the members.
Oh, Chair Hurst. Point of clarification, Temple, are all those numbers correct and the math adds up?
Yes, the numbers should add up. I can wait for confirmation from at least 2 other senators. But these numbers should add up to what is projected on the screen right now in terms of this cost breakdown.
Vice Chair Kringle. Senator Hamid.
I can confirm that the math adds up, but also I don't know if Temple was going to change this, but on mine, it says that the total Senate contributions is the same as it was last time. That part hasn't been updated.
Senator Hamid, may I respond? Can you please clarify what you meant by that, Senator Hamid?
Oh yeah, so in the bill at the end where it says total Senate contribution, it's still the same number, at least for me on my.
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you for catching that. I completely forgot about that. What is that? 17. Yep. Thank you for catching that.
Chair Temple.
May I retain? Pro Tem Demara, may I retain?
Yeah, you can.
Awesome. So numbers all add up. Bill looks good. RSO definitely I do believe is more. I believe we've seen HFS before, so I'm very confident in how they will be in how they're handling these funds, and I'm very jealous that they get to go to DC. With that, I move to vote on Fiscal Bill 5507.
There's a motion to vote on 5507. Are there any objections? Oh, Chair Hurst.
I object. I just want to make sure the numbers are exactly right. I don't want to like mess up with the numbers because it is the last or the second reading of this. I don't want to like try and do this again.
Okay, I will withdraw.
All the numbers are correct. Is there a motion? Is there a motion to go to voting? Oh, Senator Hamid.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's a motion to go to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting. With a vote count of 38-0 to 1, fiscal bill 5507 passes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. We're still on second reading. Sorry, give me a moment. Oh, fiscal bill 5508, funding for 55 members of SHEP to travel to the 2023 SHEP National Convention. Is the RSO here?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, perfect. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'll just tell you when to, okay. Can you go back? Hello, everyone. My name is Catalina Ocampo. I'm the treasurer for the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. And every year, SHEP hosts a national conference for members to attend. And this year, we want to take 55 members in total to the 2023 SHEP National Convention. It will be November 1st to the 5th in Salt Lake City, Utah. Can you go to the next slide, please? So what members who are attending will do at conference. So mainly what they will be working on is professional development, networking opportunities, career fair, and career resources. So this could be improving their resume, improving their LinkedIn with workshops, or they can attend hospitality suites where they can talk to different companies such as Microsoft or Titan America, or many more companies that attend. Next slide. What members can bring back from the conference to benefit the UCF community? Leadership, expanding UCF networking, sharing job opportunities for other students, enriching student success, and mentors. So this year, we want to take 48 members with a bundle of hotel registration and travel, and 7 members only registration, because we do understand that many members like to go on their own. So we're allowing for 7 members just registration. So in total, 55 in total. For the hotel, we chose Hampton by Hilton, which is 0.6 miles from the convention center. And we're taking 54 undergraduate members in total and 1 graduate. And for airfare, we chose Southwest because it was the best option based on time. And we do understand that the deadline in this cost breakdown for the deposit is July 31st. However, the CRT chair did tell me to renew the invoice. So later in the slides, I have an updated cost breakdown if you would like to see. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Chair Temple.
Sorry, but I don't believe we have access to the legislation itself. Or has that since been changed? I can double check that.
I can't either. Does Chair Samelo or Vice Chair has been changed from first reading? Because I can see it on first reading.
I can't hear what you said. Can you say it again?
has this bill changed from first reading? Because I can access the first reading document, just not what it's been updated to. Like I can access it like before it went to you guys.
It will have changed as of today because I did have her renew the airfare, so the cost will change and we'll have to amend them today. So that way it's the most recent updated prices.
Yeah. Try accessing it again, guys, and see if you can get it.
It's my job.
Is there anything I can do to like help?
Riley, if you can, yeah, if you can email it to Netta and or Maddie again, or if you're able to just link it in the Zoom chat as well.
You want me to link the bill?
Yes, could you link it in the chat and then also email it to Netta and Maddie if you're able to. Kylie, I don't see the I don't see the changes that you made. Or is it just like already like is it not like in the suggestion form?
It will not be a suggestion because I made them during CRT, so we already like saw them kind of thing. And then I sent the bill back to you to be seen again.
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
Everything should have changed again though, just because of what's it called? The new airfare quote that they got.
Okay. Are there any questions? Chair Temple?
Just a quick question to the RSO. What would the new number be for airfare?
It's for total group price 20,493, and then the deposit is 2,350.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Chair Hurst?
Mayor Martin,
You see me.
move to debate.
We are now in a period of debate. Unfortunately, I still am not able to access the document. I think my computer itself is just kind of funky. If anyone's able to change those, the airfare, that'd be great.
The link that Adam just sent, or sorry, Vice Chair Carringall just sent does work the SharePoint link. So you can actually view the document. I believe it works for me at least. It should work for everybody else, hopefully.
Sorry for the R. So do you mind repeating the change in travel just one more time? I apologize. I want to make sure I get the number right.
Yeah, of course. The total with deposit and total group price is 22,843.
So what's do you have the individual travel cost or by any
Yeah,
chance like
that's the individual trunk. Oh, the per member?
yeah, if you can also give me that number.
Yeah, of course. 435.40.
Okay. Huh? Yeah, wait, are you able to see my suggestion? Mine's not working. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let me scroll to the side. We're gonna change our number to 22,843. I'll double check.
I'm sorry, the total was 22,843 flat, or was there a cent percentage?
Yeah.
Flat. That is the deposit included as well.
And that's what included? Sorry, I missed that.
The deposit.
Oh, the deposit. Okay.
Yeah.
So without it, it's normally
It's just 20,493.
okay. That makes sense. If anyone else can confirm these numbers for me, I'm getting the total to be 42,870 and 56 cents, making the ARSO and the Senate contribution equal at 21,435 and 28 cents. Senator Richmond.
Should we add like the deposit amount in the travel like bar because, oh, okay.
Is there any other, oh, sorry, Chair, Senator Daedalus?
I had a question, but I don't know if we're in questioning or if we are in debate.
Senator Daedalus, are you speaking?
Yeah, I said I have a question, but I don't know if we were in questioning or debate.
You can still ask.
I just wanted to, because I know like there was a deadline for the 31st. Was that the registration?
I believe so, but I think there are still those.
So the 31st was for the deposit of the airfare, but since I renewed that invoice, I have until the 7th of August for the deposit.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to know that.
Of course.
Is there any more debate? I'd like to see at least one more, or someone just confirming that I got my numbers right. Senator Hamid?
To me, the numbers look right. I believe they're right. I also went through and did all the calculations. And Akila, I can confirm that your numbers are correct. I will be voting in favor of this.
Can you read the number aloud? Because I think I accessed the document, but it's not showing any of the changes. Just the last number. Is it 20,841 and 43 cents, or is it 21,435 and 28 cents?
It's 43 cents at the end.
Oh, okay. So I don't think the updates have been made.
Sorry, I was looking at the one that was being screen shared. On the actual document, it says it ends in 28.
Chair Samila and then Chair Temple.
All right, I just sent you a screenshot of the new cost breakdown that I have. I just went in and I started changing some stuff because it's supposed to be 435.40 times 48 members.
Oh, and 48 members?
Yeah, 48 members. And then for lodging, it's supposed to be 7102.37. But if you check your text, I sent you a screenshot of everything so you can double check.
I just can't tell if I am doing the right documents. Netta, will you accept them all as technicals for now so I can just get a clearer picture? Thank you for Shepard sticking with us through this.
If I can, the reason it was 47 is because for every 30 members, they give one flight free. However, you have to pay taxes. So that's why there's a plus 29.20. So it's actually 47 members for the 435.40.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Carly, the one inconsistency I got is they said that with the deposit, the travel is 22,843. But when I'm looking at the new cost breakdown, it just says it's 20,493. Did I mix up those numbers? Which one's correct?
No, that's right. The reason why it says that number is because it has the deposit added in. The deposit is 2,350. So you added the 20,493 plus the 2,350.
So then the total overalls is still is not what's on the new cost breakdown, right? Because you have to add the deposit.
The total overall, yeah, let me do the numbers real quick and I'll let you know.
Chair Temple.
Would the chair be favorable to a motion to table this so the numbers can be worked out while we continue on with our business? Because we only have 2 hours left until we're forced to adjourn.
We can table this for now.
A motion then?
Yeah,
Move to table this fiscal bill 5508.
there's a motion to table fiscal bill 5508 for anyone confused. That just means we're gonna revisit it later this meeting, and just so we can make sure all the numbers are correct. Are there any objections? Chair Samila?
Sorry, that's a mistake. You're good.
No worries. No internal committee caucus time, internal committee reports. ENA committee.
All right, howdy Senate. So this week ENA confirms an election commission nominee and an associate justice nominee during committee, and we denied 1 nominee unanimously.
GAP committee.
All right, good evening or afternoon, I suppose. Senate. GAP dedicated its last meeting of the summer session to drafting legislation for the Election Day initiative that has been pursued all summer. The crux of the legislation is complete. We'll be looking over it over the course of the break, myself and GAC Martin. This is to gear them up for the legislative priorities in the fall. Also, we will determine our fall semester meeting times within the coming week so we can hit the ground running. And of course, please fill out the student priority survey if you haven't had the chance yet and circulate it with your RSOs. The facts for the day are posted. Thank you.
Chair, are there any questions, Chair Carter?
Where is the link to this priority survey posted?
I can send it in, I can post it into the chat here right quick.
Thanks.
Meanwhile, are there any other questions for Chair Temple? Then were you able to put in the chat or put it in the agenda?
Still working on it.
No worries. While you do that, we'll just do the other internal committee reports, LGR committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And good afternoon, Senate. LGR met at 3 p.m. today. We approved 6 absence requests We discussed future plans, potential feedback anybody might have, and approved on first reading a resolution on creating an ad hoc military and veteran caucus. This day in history, exactly 70 years ago, on the 27th of July, 1953, the Korean War ended with an armistice between the United States, China, and North Korea, which set the border between North and South Korea at the Korean Demilitarized Zone, also known as the Military Demarcation Line. Thank you.
Okay, any questions?
Chair Hurst. Cheryl and Chili, did you remember that we weren't supposed to do history facts?
I forgot.
No worries, we'll move on. SBA committee.
Hi. So by this time tomorrow, we'll have new SBA leadership. I wish the new vice chair and chair luck. We passed Proclamation 5503 last week's meeting. We'll see them again in a little bit. Please fill out and distribute the concern form. This is not for me, but for ELA Richmond and for your dean meetings that happen in the fall. It is not so that we can just do this for fun. We actually need this information so we know what our specific colleges need from us. That's all for me.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, confirmations. We have 3 confirmations. Is there a motion? Chair Hurst.
Motion for 5-minute speech, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate.
There's a motion for 5-minute speech, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Grace Myers, are you ready? Any chance?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I am Grace Myers. Last year, I was the Assistant Supervisor of Elections. Right now, I'm going to be a senior studying clinical psychology along with a minor in criminal justice and a criminal profiling certificate. And along with that, I just recently in the spring have finished my ASL certificate. So I have a solid working fluency in American Sign Language. And I also frequently volunteer with Knights Pals for Autism, a group that works with I mostly work with children, but they work with students as well as the general Orlando community. And for my goals, I kind of wanted to go over those. I'm not sure if everyone had access to them. So kind of going off of, they're similar to my goals from last year, just expanded upon a little bit. So I am hoping to make polling more accessible for disabled UCF students. And with that, I'm hoping to work with Student Accessibility Services and UCF Cares to try to seek knowledge from the experts and as well as reaching out to students themselves to discover what their needs are. I hope to better advertise inclusively and to be able to advertise specifically to major groups on campus, whether that be minority students or specific colleges or majors, to get them more involved in either voting or running a campaign. I hope to provide abundant information about the elections and that being on campus and online. Previously, we had some issues getting building supervisor information. So I hope for the fall that we outline all of that information so people running for Senate or president and vice president are aware of all the places they can go to advertise, as well as advertising from the Election Commission standpoint. I hope to educate the community about student government's impact, but at the same time, its limits, as kind of was previously mentioned. And we all know students who are not super educated about student government's abilities can be discontent. And a lot of that I feel is due to a lack of understanding the limits, because a lot does come from the board and also our state and federal government's funding. And I also, Chair Temple will be happy to hear this. I hope to assist students with voter registration education. We last year kind of had a slow start. And with that, I hope to do better committee bonding, as well as just in general, keeping everyone motivated and making sure that they have a facet of the Election Commission that they're passionate about. And so yeah, with that, getting a jump start on that, considering that that is going to be a priority in the fall rather than in the spring, which also will, I believe, help motivation of commissioners to be able to have something important that they need to do, not just in the spring, but also have something to be motivated about and passionate about for the fall as well. And yeah, just in general, I'm super interested in making sure that everyone's voice is heard, and yeah, just making sure they understand the impact that they have in this community that they dedicate so many years and a lot of money towards, and helping them have the best experience that they can. And with that, I yield my time.
I see that we already have questions. Senator Trainer.
Present and voting.
So noted at 7:09 p.m. And Chair Temple.
Hello, Grace. It's been a while. So you already answered my question about how you intend on engaging students for the upcoming election, but my actual question does stem from the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, you were the former assistant supervisor of elections, correct?
Yes.
Alrighty, so that means you have some experience with this commission. My question to you is, what do you intend on carrying over from that prior, from your time as a commissioner? In other words, what do you intend to do differently, and how do you intend to improve now that you're being reappointed to the commission?
So as some of you know, last year was a big learning experience, as we weren't left with a lot of information from the previous commission, as well as they just didn't have as many like experiences. Like, I believe they only had 1 to no violation hearings. So we really had to work through and like work out the kinks, I suppose, to just the election commission and how it runs in general. So with that, obviously one of our big priorities in the past year was cross branch collaboration. So I hope to definitely continue that trend of making it more of a branch rather than a twig, EC, that is. And yeah, just going off of everything we worked on last year, just kind of improving it. I want to do the advertising. I'm really glad to hear about the new system for advertising and for making graphics and such, because there were always some miscommunications, whether that was like putting things on websites or just timeline stuff. So I'm super excited to hear about that. But definitely dividing the commissioners up into where they are going to go out and speak to students from the beginning rather than later in the semesters, so they can create relationships with, whether it be deans or large student organizations or even smaller, more niche ones. Just being able to build a relationship early on and be able to kind of, I guess, get to know them and understand that it's an important thing that we've been working on the entire year, rather than just kind of a last minute, hey, we're here during the spring semester right before elections. So definitely outlining a timeline, because I now have a better understanding of that. And then of course the assisting the students with voter registration, as we were interested in doing that last year. We just didn't seem to have like the manpower or the interest in the commission. So if we put that forward as something that's going to be important for us, even putting it in statutes potentially, because it is super important for students to be able to easily register for voting and being able to have their voices heard. So yeah, just making priorities and timelines and such.
Vice Chair Sandlin.
Hello, thank you for coming out. You talked in your speech about wanting to increase accessibility for polling locations. I really like that initiative. I'm sure you're aware that we have a disability caucus within the Senate. I was just wondering what role, if any, that you envision the disability caucus helping you to achieve that goal.
Yes, so I definitely want to be a large part of Disability Caucus. I would really enjoy like seeing the work that you all do, as well as y'all have resources that I could also use and get in connection with to figure out exactly what would be best for disabled students on campus. And specifically, I know there were a lot of problems with online voting for, especially for students who aren't on campus or weren't able to come in person. That working with UCFIT to make it more accessible, easier to read and vote, because I know a lot of students had issues with that. Maybe working with the app as well to make that easier. But yeah, so for me, I just want to reach out to the experts to be able to figure out exactly what's best as well as the students, and then working from there.
Are there any other questions? Being none, is there a motion? Chair Hurst.
Move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Chair Temple.
All right, so I think this goes without saying that I will be voting for Grace here because I have worked with her in the past in the 54th session and when she was the assistant supervisor of elections, but also because and beyond the poise, the professionalism, and so many initiatives. Like it is a no-brainer to me, honestly, that she ought to be put back on the commission because the experience that she has and initiatives that she brings with her, again, it will very much give a buoy to the commission, and I cannot wait to see her in action once more on the as a commissioner.
Chair Hurst.
Similar to Chair Temple, I believe Ms. Meyer should be placed back on the EC. She has been on before, she has experience and has initiatives for it. I think she'll do a good job.
Sorry, y'all, I forget to turn my timers off for speeches all the time. Is there any more debate? Seeing none, is there a motion? Oh, Chair Kanal.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting. With a vote count of 33-0-2, Grace Myers has been appointed for Election Commission seat 1.
Thank you.
With that, do we have Chanel Moya for judicial seat 2? Oh, perfect. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready. Take your time.
Hello. Hello. Okay, awesome. All right, first of all, hello and good afternoon, Senate. My name is Chanel Moja. I am a sophomore majoring in legal studies and seeking a minor in political science. Over the course of my first year at ECF, I have had the opportunity to be part of SGLC, Moot Court, Student Conduct Board, and also a peer mentor for the Access program. Through it all, I have learned the importance of community, resources, and opportunity. And for me, these elements have been so important to my growth here at the university. And I feel like the judicial branch embodies all of these elements, not only for the students that are in it, but also the students that it serves. I have had the privilege of being mentored by some of the current justices throughout my time at SGLC. And through it, I was able to understand the impact of the role of being a justice and how it not only takes dedication, but an enormous amount of teamwork and communication to make sure that everything works with hearing, appeals, and events. The importance of reviewing the information used in cases or the work that they do in each judicial committee has been so visible and all the effort they put into it. It highlighted the dedication that they exhibit in ensuring every decision reflects an appropriate implication on our student body. As an associate justice, I seek to provide students with
an unbiased and personal figure who will ensure to dedicate time to attentively assess each case brought in front of the council. I will strive to be a dependable resource for students seeking resolution and fair treatment, committing to upholding justice and promoting a supportive university community with the support of my other judicial peers. I will work to ensure that we foster an environment where every student concerns are heard and thoroughly evaluated, ensuring that all decisions are made with careful consideration and empathy. Throughout my time as a justice, I also plan to work on outreach, especially for first-generation students and transfer students. I currently work in the second floor of the Student Union in the Ginsburg Center, where we work directly with first-generation students, promoting resources and among many other things. So I want to create sort of a collaboration with.
Let's just say, at one time for 8 hours, I was the happiest of my life.
Mike is on.
That's track 1, 2, 3, and the musical was great.
All right. Anyways, so I want to make sure to work along with them to sort of establish our communication, also let them know what we do as student government, what the judicial branch could offer them. I feel like not only transfer students, but first generation students, they're not aware of what we can do, and I want to make sure to bring it forward. I also want to establish more of a strong communication with all three branches. I feel like even though we're three completely separate entities, we always interlap or come back in some way or another. We have the Judicial Experience Committee, where we kind of do bonding activities and just events for justices to kind of hang out and get to know each other, have a established communication. I want to open these up maybe once a month or anything like that, just a completely open invitation. It's not going to be any type of burden on anybody from Senate or anything. It's just an open invitation for you to have the opportunity to come hang out with us and get to know us better as a branch. And there's also many other justices in the branch who have similar initiatives. So I would love to work and collaborate with them in having something like that come along. With that, I am privileged to be considered for this position, and I thank you for dedicating me your time. I yield my time for questioning.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I'd like to see at least two. Vice Chair Sandlin.
During your previous experiences working with others on campus, which one do you think has best prepared you to enter this position?
I think I would say especially two, SGLC being one. Obviously, I had the opportunity to do hearings and then the mock parking appeals and so many different things. Talking with the justices directly and seeing them in the field working has been so important for one, making me want to pursue the position, but also teaching me how to, like, essentially training me for how to do it. And also being a peer mentor here for Access has been so important for me to just getting directly and connecting with students, talking to them, getting to know them individually, and seeking out resources that are specially for them. I think both of those things combined have essentially prepared me for this position.
Are there any other questions? Chair, oh, sorry, Eli Richmond.
Do you think moot court has helped you at like all like?
Yes, I think when it comes to like, oh my God, I'm doing moot court right now. It's over 20 cases in the summer, right? A lot of reading. I think putting so much attention to detail, because everything in moot court has to do with the way things are phrased. Like wording is so important. I think some of that really comes in to like what I'm going to be doing as a justice, especially when I'm coming to like listening to hearings, whatever it is, whether it's parking or really anything, paying attention to the details, paying attention to the wordings, the way people speak, or the way that people want to sit, like the things that they say in regards to their like hearings and anything like that. I feel like that's kind of where those skills come in for moot court specifically.
Are there any questions or motion? Chair Host.
Move to debate.
There's a motion to move debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Also, even if you are here in person, please raise your hand on here just because it's a little bit more easier for me to navigate. Chair Hurst.
So we saw this person in ENA yesterday, and they have great initiatives, and I think they're going to do very well in the position. I'll be voting in favor.
Eli Richmond.
Although this candidate isn't in mock trial, I will still be voting in favor. She seems very qualified, maybe more qualified if she did mock trial.
Vice Chair Bennett.
Defending her against this moot court speaker. She's super hardworking. Absolutely will do so great in any role she's in, including moot court, which is obviously superior to moderator.
Is there any more debate? Seeing none, Chair Kana.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are in voting. With the vote count of 36-0-2, you are elected for the seat, for judicial seat number 2. Thank you. And then our last appointment is Haley Donahue, sorry, for College of Sciences, seat number 5. Oh, are you on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Haley Donahue. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I will be going into my second year at UCF with a major in political science, pre-law, and an intended minor in diplomacy. I've spent most of my summer heading a podcast development team for an advocacy-focused organization. Senator Hurst asked me to sign over for her in the fall because of my work in politics and advocacy. In that regard, I am the Educational Advocacy Director at the Ruth Project. I am also the co-director of outreach for the Ruth Project and the project manager for Project Empowerment, an initiative focused on harnessing the power of writing to uplift young feminists. The Ruth Project is an international gender equity organization that focuses on reforming policies in the public school system, ranging from dress codes and sexual harassment and sexual assault issues to discrimination based on gender identity, race, and sexual orientation. I've been published multiple times within the organization, both on our website and within Project Empowerment. Most of my work within the organization relates back to my passion for education, stemming back to my parents. Both of them are educators for the public school system in the state of Florida. I've stayed involved in the fight for strong public education for students, for all students, K through 12 to the university to graduate and so on, working for Autumn Garrick, a Seminole County School Board member, as her social media coordinator, and with a former state rep who fought for public education, Carlos Guillermo-Smith. Last election, I was on his campaign finance team, as well as volunteering in the area. Most of the people I engaged with while working for the campaigns were students, especially at UCF. I grew up in Seminole County, about a 10-minute drive from UCF, so I was very used to the interconnectedness between the two. Well, that and both of my parents are UCF graduates, and so was my grandfather. Go Knights. My mother works in OCPS and my father in Seminole County Public Schools. It means a lot to be able to put more work into the community that surrounded me growing up. This is another facet of it. I was taught from a very young age to advocate for people, speaking at school board meetings, starting at age 8. For myself, of course, I was taught to advocate, but also for those around me. This started with those school board meetings and organizing walkouts at my schools, and it has since continued to working directly in my community and working internationally for the international fight for justice. At the end of the day, the problems we see here are facets of larger issues within our entire community. It is incredibly important to fight against those on every level. It's on the community level right now. It's on the campus level with attacks coming down from the State Board of Education and the state right to our school. We need to be doing whatever we can to defend our community, our campus, our students. I would be able to do this by advocating for the student body in SBA, one of the committees I would intend to serve on. And that is why I wish to serve in the Senate, as I can continue to advocate for others. I can't wait to hopefully be a part of it. Thank you all, and I yield the rest of my time. I'm very used to having to give short speeches, so the 5 minutes was nice.
Thank you, Chair Temple.
Hello, Ms. Donahue.
Hi, Senator Temple, or Chair.
So, either one works, honestly. So, seeing as your experience very much is, how do I put this, extensive, and I know that you wanted to join SBA, I'm sure you're aware that you can sit on at least at max 2 committees in Senate. So
Yes.
if you're able to, what other committee would you sit on?
I'm
should you-
looking. Sorry. I'm looking at elections and appointments as the other committee I would want to sit on. I was looking also at GAP, but I know that I have some connections and people that I have volunteered and worked with that would possibly cause myself to have to recuse myself a lot from that. So elections and appointments would be the other best option, because that way you can also examine election statutes to make sure they're fair and that the appointment processes are also fair, which obviously they are now, but it's nice to be able to see that they are in person.
All right, thank you.
Chair Yalman-Chile.
Good afternoon, Ms. Donahue. It's good to have you here. So my question to you is, I know you're passionate a lot about education, especially in Seminole County public schools, and I'm sure you'll transfer that to the UCF Senate as well. And so, do you have any ideas to potentially for Senate to have a role in helping the university resist the attacks that are coming from organizations like the State Board of Education?
Yes, I do. I'm not sure if this is going to sound great for everyone, but I'm working on creating a group of people who are going to lobby the state board, not just for the K through 12 standards that have recently been passed, but also to lobby against what they are doing at the college level. It is ridiculously horrifying that the state government is telling adults what they can and cannot learn and what is unacceptable to be taught at the college level, which, you know, we're adults. They shouldn't have these things affecting us. And by doing this with the advocacy committee, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be a direct work with it, but we would be able to hear about stories from people across the campus and on where they're facing issues and on what portions of the campus they are feeling most attacked with.
Are there any other questions or a motion? Chair Temple?
Move to debate. Oh, I withdraw that.
Oh, Chair Daedalus?
Hi.
Hi.
I know you have a lot going on, and I just want to make sure that you're going to be able to balance everything.
Yes, as some of my friends will say, I am a bit flexible when it comes to that, not just because of my joints. I have been working on time management. Don't make that face. With time management, as I have virtual meetings on Tuesday for the Ruth Project and in-person stuff on Saturdays. Outside of that and classes, I've always been able to find time during the school week to make sure that I'm able to meet any other requirements. And this wouldn't be the first time I've added more to my plate, especially not further meetings and stuff that helps with advocacy work.
Are there any more questions or a motion? Chair Temple?
Move to debate.
There's a motion to move to the debate. Are there any other, or are there any objections? Oh, okay. We are now in debate. Chair Temple?
So I myself will be abstaining from this because I know Haley personally. She was a classmate of mine in last semester's class, but I would highly encourage you all to vote for her. She is beyond qualified. It'll probably also include another person to make fun of me in this chamber, but at this point, I'm used to it at this point. But in seriousness, I do highly encourage you all to vote for Ms. Donahue. Her advocacy experience transcends so much. And it will be very, very well applied in this body. And I can only see her doing very good things in this chamber.
Likewise, I will also be abstaining because I also had Donahue as a classmate this last semester, but I would urge all of you to vote in favor because the candidate is smart as a whip, very experienced, and I can say with confidence that she probably knows more about the roles that I've held in student government than I do. And she is very good at breaking down information and making it accessible to everyone else. So I think she'll be a very valuable addition to Senate.
Chair Yalman-Chile.
So I will be enthusiastically voting in favor of Miss Donahue because for a few different reasons. She works very hard. She is a woman of boundless compassion and ethics. And so I will say that she fights very hard for marginalized communities, whether that be the LGBTQ plus community or other people being attacked by the state government. Her record on advocacy is solid. She has been engaged in helping improve the education of Seminole County Public Schools, as well as with other organizations as well. I think she would be a great addition to Senate and provide a perspective focused on social justice. And it would be great to see her take her passions to Senate. So I will be voting in favor, and I encourage you all to do the same as well. Thank you.
We have now seen 3 debates and affirmation. For the sake of time, I will only be seeing hands if you're in negation. No. Is there a motion to vote?
So moved.
Oh, oh, Preston.
Yeah, I was just curious because I know that Ethan and Reese had like brought it up about them staying because she's a prior classmate. Do we have like an official statute on that? Because I assume like if I just happen to be in a class with say, you know, Aquila freshman year and then like say senior year is like when you ran for pro temp, for example, I feel like there's no specific like statute that would prevent me from voting in favor, right?
Yeah, I think Amanda has.
Yeah, so in statute, there is not actually a statute saying that because you're classmates, you should not vote for somebody or abstain because of their vote. However, Ethan and Reese, as well as myself, are all personal friends of Miss Donahue's as well. That's why they're abstaining, not just because they were classmates, but we have personal relationships with her as well.
Yeah, and to add on to that, you should be abstaining when there is a personal conflict.
Okay, I wasn't sure of like the personal closeness. They had only said classmates, so.
It's up to your own judgment at the end of the day. Is there any no, sorry. We are in a period of voting unless there are objections. Seeing none, we're now voting. With a vote count of 36 to 1 to 3, Haley Donahue for College of Sciences, sorry, Donahue, sorry, for College of Sciences seat 5 has passed. Congratulations to all our nominees that have been confirmed. Is there a motion to go back to fiscal bill 5508?
So moved.
So moved.
We are now in fiscal bill 5508. In debate specifically, me and Kylie confirmed it. And I'll see these as technicals, all the changes to the numbers. Is there any debate? Chair Hurst.
May I retain? I guess not. Ethan has something. Oh, you're good? Okay, may I retain?
Yes, you may.
Seeing as the numbers have been confirmed for this bill, move to vote.
Yes. Sorry, 1 second. Hey, Netta, do you mind making breakout rooms for the people who got confirmed so they can be sworn in? Yeah, you can do the poll first. With a vote count of 33 to 0 to 1, this fiscal bill passes on second reading. Is there a motion to move to internal legislation?
So moved.
Notice of legislation on first reading, none. Notice of legislation on third reading, none. Notice of legislation on second reading, resolutions 5503. And as we approach 8, I would encourage everyone to try to stay as brief as possible. Is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? Chair Temple.
Before I make that motion, we don't have access to the resolution.
At least I do. I can share this. My screen.
And then a motion.
Huh?
Motion, if I may.
Yeah. What motion?
Move for 5-minute speeches, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate.
Looking for 5-minute speeches, 5-minute questioning, and 5-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Yeah, 5 minutes. Or whoever. Coleman.
Hi. Can I go?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, I'm gonna yield my time to Attorney General Moore and Associate Justice Collazo.
Hi, Senate. Thank you so much for yielding your time. We both appreciate it. With this ad hoc caucus, we would be able to represent and advocate on behalf of military and veteran students, as both of us are dependents. Both of our fathers served in the military. It can get really tricky being a dependent student, especially when you don't have siblings that can help you, a sense of community at UCF that can help you, and also, there's not too many rules and guidelines about our military students. So every single semester we have to submit a verification form that affects our insurance and also federal benefits. So it's very important that we have a sense of community to where we have directions and shoulders to lean on to go through this process, as every single semester there's new forms to fill out, and it's all on the federal level as well. So any little mistake or hiccup is very difficult to fix. And also the Veterans Affairs Department is very overworked because we have a lot of veteran students, to where having a caucus would be able to allow students, to get more aid from the student body.
And to add to that, I just want to quickly talk about why we're doing this. So originally I had this idea in my associate justice proposal, but I took it out just because I didn't find it relevant to my application as an associate justice, but I always kept it in my back pocket just in case. So during judicial retreat last week, when speaking with Attorney General Moore and talking about being dependents in military life, and I brought up the idea again for a military and veteran caucus, she was more than happy to support me in it. So I sat down, spoke with Brody, and we discussed statutes, Constitution, Robert's Rule to see if this was possible. He said it was possible. So myself and Attorney General Moore began to write the resolution to create an ad hoc caucus. And the reason why we chose to do an ad hoc caucus, it's because we want to give essentially a trial run for the first year. We don't want it to be necessarily immediate standing caucus, because we understand that sometimes initiatives are not successful. So with the resolution, it allows a 55th session at the end of it to establish it as a standing caucus if it deems it successful.
Yeah, I also want to say this was on my initiative as well, to help out VA students as well as Attorney General, but I did realize that there was not that much I can do. I am trying to make a web courses for VA students just so it's easier to handle your documents, as there's a lot to fill out as a VA student because it's on the federal level. So when Andrew came to me on this, I immediately wanted to jump on it with him, and allowing it to be ad hoc will allow us to, experiment with this. And that's the whole purpose of it. Instead of making a permanent caucus, it's going to be ad hoc for the time being. And we yield our time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Oh, Vice Chair Sandlin.
I forgot to ask this in LJR, but I was just wondering, you said this was sort of like a placeholder to see like a trial run to just see how it goes. I was just wondering if there was like some sort of backup plan, because I love the idea. I love what you're doing. I was just wondering if there was like a backup plan if like the caucus doesn't achieve what it set out to do.
So what the caucus is looking out to do is, also fix all of the VA websites, update them, make a web courses for them, really just lay out that platform for, say, incoming freshmen who don't have their mother or father who's served in our armed forces to guide them, or even siblings that went through the same thing. A lot of them come into the college experience not knowing how to file all these documents, and they mess them up on the federal level. So, updating the website, creating a clear resource for them, and establishing just a platform for VA students, and, working with the Military and Veterans Affairs Office as well, creating close ties with them, just to create, a foundation and to fix it, because, to be honest, there's a lot of things to fix with that office. So that is our goal. And I think we're going to be able to accomplish all of that this year. It's more so not if the caucus fails, because it's not going to. It's more so if we get everything we done that we need to get done, and if we want to continue it, if we think there's more work to be done.
Yeah, and whether the caucus is established or not, myself and Attorney General Moore will continue this work. We are just establishing this caucus so we can involve more people who are interested into this cause.
Chair Temple.
A few questions, if I may.
Yeah.
So good evening, Associate Justice Galazzo and AG Moore. My question stems from, first and foremost, love the idea. But I'm curious as to where the jurisdiction of an ad hoc caucus would come from, because I'm looking at Senate Rule 2, and there's nothing explicitly stating the duties and the powers of an ad hoc caucus. Like, for example, in Senate Rule 2.04 or 2.05. So I'm just kind of curious how the culmination of an ad hoc caucus came about and where the jurisdiction of this lies.
Yeah, so great question. This is actually something myself and Brody brought up during our discussion. And that's when we went to Robert's Rule. So if anyone has Robert's Rule right in front of them, if you go to page 587, it states that unless such a caucus is so large that it must necessarily proceed in the matter of an assembly, it is governed by the rules of procedure applicable to committees. Since a delegation is in effect a committee to represent and act at the convention of the constituent society or unit that chose it. So with that in mind, we can technically use Senate Rule 202, those guidelines to establish the ad hoc caucus. Again, these are guidelines. So of course, this never has been done before, but that's essentially what me and Brody decided based on Robert's Rule.
And then a follow-up, if I may. So with that, then I'm still curious as to why, like, I get the idea behind representing military students and veterans. I'm just curious as to why not a direct ad hoc committee. Just kind of parse that out of the way.
So making it ad hoc is more so because I'm a senior, Andrew, you're a sophomore, right? Andrew's a sophomore, and we just really want to see how many people we can get involved with this. So it's kind of just a trial run. And with it being ad hoc, ad hoc committees are special committees. Caucuses are considered special committees, but they do not do any legislation whatsoever. Those are for standing committees. So this is still a caucus. We are just making it temporary for right now. And we just want to make it temporary, to make sure it also passes into the right hands next year. This is kind of like our baby. And we just want to make this the best we can, but we don't want to make it permanent immediately because, there also is an office for this. We just want to fix all the problems that we have felt on our end. And we have heard from other students as well with this year. It's a really big initiative for us, and it would mean so much if this resolution was passed. Thank you.
Then my final question is, should this resolution ultimately pass, how would you immediately go about organizing the caucus and launching its first operations?
Do you want to extend the?
Disregard the last question then.
Okay. I know there are other people with questions. Anybody want to extend questioning time? Sure. Or, yeah.
Move to extend questioning by 2 minutes.
There's a motion to extend questioning by 2 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, you have 2 more minutes. Senator Lazo.
Just a quick question. What kind of specific initiatives would you give towards more active duty members in the event of something like they're deployed in the middle of the school year, or any problems that might arise from that, not just focusing solely on dependents?
Well, that's another thing because, there can be some professors that don't really get that or don't really have sympathy for our active duty, or even those in the reserves who have to go every 2 weeks, once a month for 2 weeks to go and serve somewhere. So, they have really tricky schedules. And it's also just advocating for them within our caucus to make sure that they are getting not necessarily catered to, but that professors understand that they are serving our country, but they are still students.
And I also want to add that this caucus will serve students who are active duty, National Guard, Reserve, and as well as their spouses and dependents who are students here at UCF.
Chair Kanal, you have 55 seconds.
Yeah, and granted that this is, an entirely new concept that we're trying out here, I'm not comfortable with having any student government agent be in the bill to serve as chair or vice chair, particularly given that we are suggesting to make the caucus permanent if it is successful. So I would like to make an amendment striking that out.
That'll be in debate. If you can make the addition.
Can we answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason it's ad hoc is also because there is no bill saying that there can be any student government agent also as a chair or vice chair as a caucus, which I understand if you want a senator as sole chair for any committees. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. But when it comes to caucuses, I think any student government agent should be able to be involved in that. And also, nobody has the experience with student affairs as us.
We ran out of time unless you really want to ask the question. Oh, okay. We are now in a period of debate. Chair DeCara.
Yeah, basing it off of what Senator Knopf said, I have Lucy Blanco as my vice chair, who is not a senator. There is no full thing about the caucuses because the caucuses are meant to be as both all different branches coming together to, address the issues of the entire student body. I see no issue with that. Honestly, it makes it kind of easier when it's just senators where it's like, I have to reach out to y'all when I have the person who's like constantly talking to the president right there. I can just talk back and forth. But when you guys came to LJR today, even though I'm not dependent, I do have family members and friends who have been in the exact same scenarios that you are talking about. And I feel so hard where I'm very much a person that wants to be there for them, but I don't understand how to help them. But also educating the people that are not part of the military, that being able to then help, spread the information of this is how I can help you. And then, allowing the entire student body to know that's if I have friends who are, in the military or dependents or all that, they can help them instead of them feeling alone. So, but I mean, the ad hoc bringing that up was a great, because, you want to give it a test run, and especially for being a caucus, but overall, I would vote in the affirmative.
Chair Kanal.
Sorry, I just forgot to lower my hand.
Oh, no, you're good. Vice Chair Sandlin.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. I just want to clarify that my question didn't come from a place of doubting whether or not you would be able to achieve your mission. It was just, I was just thrown off by the wording trial run, but I think this is a solid idea. I think it's necessary that if we have a group of students on campus that are experiencing a unique problems, that we should advocate for them. And I think this is a great medium to do that. So I will be voting in favor, and I would encourage everyone else to as well.
Senator Herrera.
Yeah, so I will be voting no on this resolution because I vehemently oppose the military industrial complex. And I really encourage everybody who's going to vote on this to reconsider the decision because of the effect that this industrial complex has on the whole world, from our society to the environment to the people of other countries. Thank you.
Is there any more debate? Seeing none, is there a motion to vote?
I don't know if my
Oh,
and were you asking like specifically like in dissension or?
I did not see all these hands. I apologize. Chair Yalman Chili.
So thank you, Madam Speaker. I will be voting in the affirmative because, one, I greatly respect the service members of our military as well as veterans as well and their dependents. They do go through a tough time, as AG Moore and as Associate Justice Collazo have spoken to their experiences. It is not easy for dependents of military families and veterans to be able to get the benefits they need. They do deserve this help. I do believe that this caucus serves a noble purpose. I intend on participating in it as well. And I think this will be great for including a group of students in student government that usually are not talked about in Senate. So I will be voting in favor, and I encourage everybody else to do the same as well. Thank you.
Senator Lacasse, we have 1.5 minutes. I appreciate if your speech is short.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be super quick. I just want to say, especially in like direct comment on a previous member who brought up like concerns about the military industrial complex. I will say simply, I'm in favor of this just because there are like, I know personally someone in my life who is like the child of a veteran and has particular issues with like getting grants and stuff like that, you know, from UCF. And so having something like this may be helpful in that instance. And so I feel like we shouldn't be too concerned about connections it have in that case. I feel like it's just more of a advocacy body for students who may have particular disadvantages when it comes to stuff like that because of their like financial and familial background, specifically when it comes to like disabled veterans. And having something like this can really help them like navigate the process of making sure they get those funds they need to further their education.
Chair Carter, you have 30 seconds.
Can I extend it? The
Yes.
time? Motion to extend debate by a minute.
I'll see that.
Okay, I will be abstaining. While I do agree that veterans as well as dependents, as a child of as a dependent myself of two parents who served in the military, I do agree that dependents do face a lot of issues as well as veterans themselves, as well as those in the military. But I do share sentiments with Senator Herrera, so I will have to abstain from this vote.
Vice Chair Sandlin.
I don't necessarily disagree with what has been said on Carter and Herrera's point, but I think the group of students who are dependents and the group of students who are opposed to the military industrial complex aren't mutually exclusive groups. This isn't advocating for military expansion. This isn't advocating for the actions of the military. This is advocating for the issues of the dependents of those who are in the military.
Debate time has elapsed unless we have a motion to extend debate time. Is there a motion? Chair Kanal.
Motion to extend debate by 2 minutes.
There's a motion to extend it by 2 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll extend it, but I will not be seeing any other extensions of time. You can.
Yeah, I'm still not comfortable with that blanket final clause there in terms of having anyone be able to chair or vice chair. I do agree that interbranch collaboration is very important. And that's why I do think that caucuses should welcome members from all across student government, but I think caucuses and committees like this are uniquely and intimately related to Senate's functions. And so I would like to see Senate take a more active role in chairing and vice chairing this, especially given our connections to RSOs and groups, including like ROTC students. I think we can do a lot more with this if we have it in hand.
Chair Yelman Chile.
So to address the concerns of senators who are opposed to the military industrial complex, this caucus and this bill is not about the military industrial complex. It is not about funneling money into Raytheon or Lockheed Martin. I would say that this is about helping students and their families. And so that's not what the bill is about. And I believe that the bill is written to establish a caucus to help students who are having trouble navigating the federal bureaucracy that is highly complex in order to get their benefits, and they deserve to be supported. And I believe that additionally, considering this was an initiative brought forth by members of the other branches as well, the spirit of interbranch cooperation is a good thing. And so I do agree with the idea that it's okay if any student government agent can chair or vice chair this caucus. Thank you.
You have 20 seconds or 15 seconds, Chair Temple.
I was about to make a motion to vote to move to voting procedures.
There's a motion to move to voting procedures. I'll ask if there are any objections, but time has run out anyway. We're now in a period of voting, unless there's a motion to extend debate time, which you probably won't see anyway. Okay.
The poll is launched. I have an amendment. Can you unlaunch it? I don't know.
We can see it again on third reading. But then we won't be able to see the block. No, I'll see the next. We might not get to it second time.
It launched. It's still, I voted, so.
It's still up on my side. I can end it on my side. With a vote count of 29 to 6 to 1, this resolution passes. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to speed run this last hour. We are tight on our schedule, but I believe in us all. Is there a motion to see proclamation 5503? Or sorry, we are now gonna see proclamation 5503. Is there, I think we did, oh, yeah. Is there a motion for 5-minute speeches, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate?
So moved.
So moved.
Who's speaking for this? Is anyone able to access it? No. Okay, well, what? Huh? Oh, you are? I don't know if anyone else can. You can? Okay, then maybe it's just me and I'm going crazy. No, it's okay. I've seen it before. So who's introduced? Is anyone from Black Caucus gonna be speaking on it? Oh, Chair Temple. If there is no speaker, I'll just speak for it. Okay, so we talked, Senator Daedalus.
Okay, I know I got reinstated, but I did do the paperwork for it. So can I talk about it, even though I'm technically not on Black Caucus?
Yeah, you can. No worries. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. The proclamation is to celebrate, it's for UCF to celebrate August as Black Business Month. It's something that was initiated in 2004. Just to, in a sense, draw awareness to the inequalities that Black people face in different aspects of life, this specifically being in the business and finance aspect. It's something that passed last year, and that's where, in a sense, the Black Business Showcase started from. And it's something that I wanted to continue this year when I was elected as Black Caucus Chair, which is why we're here now talking about it. And if you did see on the Instagram yesterday, we will be having the Black Business Showcase August 29th. If you would love to repost about it or tell your friends about it, Black Caucus will love that. And yeah, it's something that I don't want to say I never knew about. Yeah, okay. It's something I never really knew about up until last year. So I'm really happy that we're able to bring this to UCF. And also we're hoping that we could get it in the Orlando community in general, as we have been in contact with Mayor Dyer about it also. So yeah, I yield my time.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Temple.
Move to debate.
With the motion move debate, are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Vice Chair Sandlin.
I will be happily voting in favor of this resolution. I think it's great that we're advocating for Black businesses to be promoted, and we have a dedicated month for them. I think everyone should also vote in favor of this.
Chair Carter.
I'll be voting in favor of this bill during Black Caucus. There has been a lot of hard work in order to build up the showcase, especially by Chair Daedalus, as well as Speaker Holmes helping with any questions that we have about it. And this would be an amazing bill to dedicate to Black businesses, especially because it could have an effect in the greater Orlando area.
Is there any more debate, or is there a motion? Chair Temple.
Seeing no further debate, move to vote on the proclamation.
There's a motion to vote on this proclamation. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedure. With a vote count of 35 to 0-1, this proclamation passes. And Chair Temple, to answer your thing, I do plan on seeing them in third reading, but we also might see a resolution 5503 on third reading as well. So based on if Amanda can resolve the amendment she wants to make, I will be seeing them, all of them, as a block. But for now, she's discussing it outside. I'm going to be moving to miscellaneous business. Is there a motion? Or
So moved.
so moved. Reinstatements, non-election scholarship committee. Okay, guys, we have about 40 minutes to do this and ANSF. I will be opening nominations. We're thinking of passing the fiscal bills and the resolutions. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm opening nominations. Are there any nominations? Oh yeah. Chair Yalman-Chile.
I nominate Senator Temple.
I respectfully decline.
Senator Hamid.
I'd like to nominate Chair DeCara.
You can put him. Chair DeCara, do you accept your nomination for scholarship? Yes. Wait, did Temple accept or decline? Okay. Are there any other nominations? Yeah. There's 3 spots for this committee, Chair Temple. I encourage all new senators to.
I nominate Senators Kenna, Youngam, and Chili.
Accept or decline?
Decline.
I respectfully decline.
Okay, I'm gonna ask some new senators. Let's get some new senators on here. Senator Quiroga, am I pronouncing that wrong? Quiroga, I'm so sorry. Senator Lazier, Senator Polera. I nominate those 3 based on what I see. Quiroga and Polera. Do you guys accept or decline?
I respectfully decline.
Those Quiroga. Polera, do you?
I respectfully decline.
Okay. Senator Lazier.
I respectfully decline just because of my schedule.
Okay. Yeah.
I nominate Senator Lazo, Senator Humayun, Senator Whitson, Senator Rose, Senator Bishop. I will. I will take care of that. Hold on.
I'll ask them one by one.
Once I write them down, hold on 1 second. I gotta get down there.
Senator Humayun, do you accept your nomination?
I respectfully decline. Thank you so much for the offer, though.
Senator Lazo, do you accept or decline?
I accept. I'm just totally gonna need a rundown.
Yay, that's fine. I'll give you one. Senator Whitson.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Lazo. I want to know more about it before I 100% accept or decline, especially with my upcoming schedule.
Basically, you sit on a committee. We have a certain amount of funds that you're able to distribute to various departments and entities on campus. So they'll come to you and ask like, oh, we want this much money for a scholarship. And basically with the amount of money you do, you decide what scholarships are available to students and how much for each one. So that's the purpose. So do you accept or decline based on that very brief explanation?
Yeah, I mean, is there like a weekly meeting or something that I can like pencil in my calendar?
Yeah,
Or that
they'll
just-
when they decide that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I'll accept.
Senator Rose, do you accept or decline?
I'll accept.
Senator Hamid.
Can I also nominate Senator Navacruz and Senator Vasquez?
Yes, you may. Senator Navacruz, do you accept or deny? We'll just count that as a deny for now. Senator Vasquez. Do you accept or deny?
I think I'm not the most well versed in fiscal matters, so I'm not sure if.
For this.
Can you say that again, please?
You don't have to be well versed in fiscal for this.
Okay, then I'll accept.
Okay. With that, are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I will choose to close nominations. We have 5 senators. I think there's a lot going on. So what this will look like is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? Senator Hurst or Chair Hurst.
Motion for 3-minute speeches, 3-minute questioning, 3-minute debate.
Oh, sorry. There's a motion for 3-minute speeches, 3-minute questioning, 3-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we will start in the order that they're listed. DeKira, Whitson. Oh wait, I think there's some other people. DeKira, DeCara, you have 3 minutes to speak, and then I'll go in the order.
I'm good to go. You just spelled that wrong. That was my bad. Dang, my bad for correcting my name. Sorry. All right, I'll start. As you see, like being nominated, I accepted it. I really would love being a part of this committee because I've always been super interested in scholarships, especially that's one of my initiatives for the Latin Hispanic Caucus is focusing on these scholarships that are specifically made for Hispanic and Latin groups, even though the committee isn't going to be focusing on that entirely, just the idea of making these scholarships available, throughout the entire proposals for them, you create these scholarships based on criteria, how much you award them, being able to give back to the students who got me this seat and everything, which is very I would love to do. So, and also this is something I can learn more is through a committee like this, where I'm working with also different types of the branches and also different officers. Other than that, I am open to questioning the rest of my time.
What we'll do is that everyone will give a speech and then everyone will ask questions. So, Senator Lazo.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I'm winging this. However, I'm also a person that likes to rise to the occasion. I saw that there wasn't a lot of people signing up to be nominated, so I guess I'm just gonna take them for the team and join. But also as somebody who benefits from scholarships, I would love to be a person who can help other people benefit from scholarships, as I can understand that funding is really what can make or break someone's academic career. And I have a great passion for helping other people, which I will then take for a scholarship committee. Thank you, and I yield my time.
Thank you, Senator Whitson.
Hey, yeah. So I'm a kind of new senator. I don't know if it still counts now, but I kind of want to be able to get myself into something. I feel like this committee is going to help me get more versed and knowledgeable about kind of the whole student government thing, all three branches. And I really can't say no to being able to help out some of my fellow UCF students. So, yeah.
Thank you. Senator Rose.
Yeah, so I was just nominated on the spot as well, but I think it would be a really cool opportunity to be on the scholarship committee. I'm already on ORS and I've really enjoyed my time there, and I feel like I've learned a decent amount about the fiscal process. So I think I could take that knowledge and apply it in the scholarship committee and help out the student body. I yield my time.
Thank you. Senator Navacruzat. Oh wait, I think they didn't accept, so we can take them out. Senator Navacruzat, do you accept or decline? Never mind. We will just go to Senator Vasquez for now, or we can keep them. They just won't be doing.
Hi, so I really second Senator Lazo's speech. Sorry, the echo's really bad. But I'm also not the most, I got nominated on the spot, so I don't really know much about the scholarship committee as of right now, but I'm really open to learn. I'm really open to getting involved in a different position in SG. So I'd be really I take initiative into this committee, so yeah, I yield my time.
Thank you. Those are all of the speeches. You guys are all doing amazing. I love seeing you senators be involved. But yeah, we are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Chair Temple.
Rather quick fire one. To the senators, should any of you be elected to this committee, what sorts of scholarships would you like to see proposed?
So the way that we'll do the questioning is that it'll start DeCara, Lazo, Whitson all the way down, and then the next round of questions will be Lazo, Whitson, and with DeCara. So it just rotates out. So DeCara, you'll start.
So just maybe you're saying you're asking about like what certain scholarships I would like to see proposed. As like I was reading before, like I've read this like the minutes and agendas from the past, like they go range from like leadership involvement, like ones like Patriot with veterans, ones with like the downtown campus. I would definitely like to see a lot of more first gen ones, in my opinion, because I am a first gen student with absolutely like no, was applying for college by myself with FAFSA and everything. Just, you know, being able to go to college and being able to pay for it, it makes it so much easier for a student. So in my opinion, the first gen ones are very much my priority, but you know, I'm always open to the other ones too, but my focus would be that, especially since I am first gen.
Senator Lazo.
I'm going to be echoing DeKara. I'm also going to be advocating for more first gen and immigrant scholarships, as I am first gen and immigrant. But I will also be advocating for more arts and humanities scholarships and leaning away from solely STEM dedicated scholarships.
Thank you, Senator Whitson.
Yeah, so I'm a STEM guy, so that kind of hurt me. No, I'm just joking. I definitely want to see some project-based scholarships that take into account the creativity of the students here, like whether it be like some science fair project or just like some robot some kid made on his own. I think it's important that we take into account the creativity that people have and reward that.
Thank you, Senator Rose.
I'd like to see some international scholarships, international student scholarships. I know one of my friends is an international student and he's had a really hard time being here. And I think if we promoted those more, it could help out a lot of people that don't have great circumstances.
Okay, thank you. Senator Nava Cruzat. Vihan, what, you have your hand raised? Oh, no, okay.
I was gonna ask a question later on. Let them answer.
Okay. Senator Vasquez.
I wish I could just say ditto and call it a day because everyone's responses are so good. But I really second everyone's. Also, I'm a first gen immigrant student, so I would obviously have more affluence towards them. But also on top of first gen immigrant and international students, I think recognition for undocumented students and dreamer students would be really important because I personally know a couple of those students and they really struggle getting scholarships. In addition to, I'm also a STEM student, so I'd love for like a STEM related scholarship to be possible. So yeah.
Questioning time has elapsed. Is there a motion? Chair Hurst.
Motion to extend questioning time by 3 minutes.
Actually, you can increase it because we're not doing ANSF.
5 minutes?
Yes, we can do 5 minutes. We're not doing ANSF today. Yeah. Chair Yalman Chili.
Am I good to ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, so what are y'all's opinions on supporting the LGBTQ plus community with more scholarships, especially considering that many queer students are often ostracized by their families, who are often unsupportive and face many other struggles of discrimination and marginalization in society. So would you be interested in advocating for queer people when instituting scholarship programs?
We'll start with Senator Lazo first. Oh wait, yeah, Senator Lazo.
I would absolutely be advocating for that because in the political sphere that we have right now, it's becoming more and more difficult for queer and LGBTQ students to get support and to get support, especially from their families who are going to be their #1 support system throughout college. So anything that I could do to help this community, especially financially, as that is an important integral part to beginning your academic career, I would absolutely be in support for.
Senator Whitson.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing answer, and I agree with her. I think it's really important that we offset the discrimination that they face with scholarships to give them a level playing field with other groups that don't experience that discrimination.
Senator Rose.
Yeah, I am absolutely in favor of that. To some students, scholarships are the only way that they're able to attend college and have that experience. So I think it's really important that we help out any sort of marginalized communities like the LGBTQ plus.
Senator Nava Cruzat. Senator Vasquez.
I would also be fully in favor of creating and giving scholarships to the members of the LGBTQ plus society. So, yeah.
Senator DeClara.
Absolutely. One being part of the community, I'm privileged to have parents that, supported me when I came out and applying to college, but I do have friends who weren't able to have the same privilege I did. And I had a friend who actually was able to afford college through one of UCF scholarships because there was no support from their family. But thankfully, through these scholarships, they were able to, actually come here. So I will absolutely be in favor for supporting those scholarships.
Chair Carter.
My question is, how do you plan on advocating for graduate student scholarships? Typically with graduate funding, a lot of it is based on whether you're a current student and in terms of research you have done, for example, and typically graduate students have to take out a lot of loans, up into like 10,000, adding on to the undergraduate degree debt if they have them. And typically it's very hard to find funding that isn't research oriented, which is typically difficult for newer graduate students to do as they first enter programs.
And just before we say that, Senator Nava Cruzat said that he is in favor regarding the last question. But now we'll go with Senator Whitson.
Yeah, I think that that's probably the scholarship group that I need to learn the most about. I don't know much about how graduate school or graduate scholarships work at the moment, but I know that I'll have the motivation to learn about it and make sure that they are equally represented as a group of people on campus.
Senator Rose.
So yeah, I also don't know too much. I've talked to one graduate student in the aerospace college just to kind of learn more about it when I first came here. And from what I understand, they get paid to basically attend and do research, as Senator Carter said. But I think just talking to them more would probably help out a lot in determining a strategy as to how we might create scholarships for them.
Senator Nava Cruzat. Senator Vasquez. And there's only 15 seconds up, so I'm gonna motion to extend this by 4 minutes because I also have my own question. But Senator Vasquez.
I would definitely be in favor of creating a graduate studies scholarship because I'm interested in going to graduate school, but I know that the scholarship that I'm currently on only would offer me like 50% of what I'm currently getting and what I need to go to graduate school. So I think that offering a scholarship would really encourage students to pursue graduate schools and higher education instead of discouraging them, which would obviously be not very good for like the education system. So I would definitely look into making that happen.
Senator DeClara.
I'd absolutely be in favor. Personally, I haven't really experienced as much with graduate students, but I do know that the graduate work that comes out of UCF has been phenomenal, especially due to our engineering programs and just all the research all around. It's been great. And I feel like we should support these students and in their work. And I know you mentioned that you will pull out loans, and these students are very passionate about their work, and they should be supported by the student body in the school. So again, I will absolutely be in favor.
Senator Lazo.
Not to brag, but I actually do have a bit of experience with graduate funding. A lot of my relatives are PhD holders, so I know how difficult and competitive it is to get even pennies worth of funding. So I would be absolutely advocating for more opportunities for fellowships, grants, research opportunities, anything that can make it easier, even a couple dollars worth more for these people to get their funding.
Senator Whitson, or did you already start?
Yeah, I started.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a question. Sorry, Harris, I don't want to cut you off. I think I've heard amazing answers from each one of you, but I want to hear what specifically about you, maybe your experience or your passions that makes you specifically, the most qualified to sit on this committee. And then we'll start with Senator Rose.
Sorry, did you call me?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have too much experience with the UCF scholarship process myself. I didn't actually get any scholarships to come here, although I do know my friends have done that process. So I know a bit, but to be honest, I'm probably not the most qualified, but I would definitely be willing to learn about it, and if I would be given the opportunity.
Senator Navakruzat. Senator Vasquez, sorry.
No, don't worry. I'm also not the most qualified person to sit on this committee, but like Senator Rose, I would also be willing to learn, take initiative, and take time out of my day to be fully committed to the committee and make sure that everyone's needs are met. I'm very ambitious, so I would not let my presence on this committee be a fail. So I would definitely work up to it.
Senator DeCara.
I actually have experience with doing this sort of process. I sat on my high school's alumni foundation where I was I was the student was a delegate, and basically I helped interview students, and we helped put together with alumni from the 60 of each decade of the high school, put together these scholarships for each student depending on their interaction with the school, their community work, their internships. It ranged from whatever they were into. It also went down to if they're applying to college with first gen, their background. I have that experience with that. On a college level, not really. I have helped my fraternity while with scholarships. There are scholarships my fraternity offers, and I did go on and help my other fraternity brothers, apply for them and see other ones that are outside of our fraternity to apply for. So I do have some experience in that area. So yeah.
Senator Lazo.
While I don't have experience with granting scholarships to other people, I wouldn't be standing here today at UCF if it wasn't for a combination of Florida Bright Futures, Black and Gold, and other types of scholarships that I'm blanking on right now. So I very much understand how important it is to have scholarships for certain people, or else they don't have equal access to education and academics.
Senator Whitson.
Yeah, so I'm currently living in the honors dorms, and everyone around me, except for me, is getting absolute banking scholarships compared to me, like thousands of dollars just cash every semester. So I'm definitely interested in becoming the part of the process that's giving those out to people that really need it. Like, I'm not trying to put my roommates on blast, but they probably don't need it as much as some of the people that could be getting it. And it's also really important to me that there's a group that gets the message out about them, because I didn't know about half the scholarships that the people that I know have. So it's important for me that I can kind of help get that message out.
With that, question time has elapsed. Is there a motion to extend it or to move to debate? Oh, point of information. Who? Oh, here.
Just in case someone saw it in the chat, a point of information from Senator Yalamanchili's previous question is that we cannot make scholarships specific for certain groups. We have to be able to make them more broad.
Thank you. Is there a motion to extend questioning time or to move to debate? Chair Yalamanchili. Chair Butler, did you raise your hand too?
I did, and I motioned to move to debate.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate, and also once again we can extend it because we won't be doing ANSF today. But Chair Hurst.
Yeah, so I will be voting for Senator DeCara. He has experience in this kind of work before, and I think he will do a very good job. He also wants to do this with Latin Hispanic Caucus as one of his initiatives. I think he'll do well.
Chair Butler.
I'm going to be voting for Senator Winston just based off of how he was answering his questions. Most people said that they would mainly do the scholarships towards their college, I believe, or the first generations. And Winston said he would basically do it towards like all people, depending on like projects and different things like that. And I thought that was really cool. And I think he would be a good addition to the scholarship committee.
Chair Kana, and I also want to point out, you guys can actually vote up to 3 people. So, you know, you don't have to feel limited to one person because there are 3 seats. But Chair Kana.
Also going to be voting in favor of Chair DeCara. I feel like having had the pleasure of his help as vice chair on ENA when both of us were figuring that out, that process went a lot more smoothly. His suggestions, questions, comments have all been very helpful in that committee, and taking on more roles outside of that in Senate as well. I think this is definitely a role that he can thrive at and help out the most students out of all of us.
Chair Carter.
I will be voting for Chair DeCara as well as Senator Lazo. I really like Senator Lazo's sentiments on arts and humanities. A lot of scholarships are typically catered towards STEM, as well as, to my knowledge, a lot of graduate funding is catered towards STEM as well. So it's typically harder to find scholarships in general, like whether undergraduate or graduate student. If you're not in the hardcore STEM field, there's nothing against STEM. It's just typically harder to find funding for that, as well as DeCara has had experience with helping people find funding, as he mentioned before. So voting in favor of them.
Chair Hurst.
Move to vote.
There's a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now, oh, sorry. You can vote. You can choose to abstain. Yeah, you can vote for yourself as well. But how this will work is that you'll have like the multiple check boxes. Only vote up to 3, because that's like the max you're guaranteed or allowed. So just make sure. But yeah, now we're voting. Chair Temple.
I was going to make a motion following the conclusion of the voting.
Okay, sorry guys, I have to make sure that everyone has a majority. So there's 36 people. Okay, we do have our 3 seats. Congratulations to Chair DeCara, Senator Lazo, and Senator Whitson. But I loved seeing everyone else still run for these positions. Keep in mind, ANSF are still open and there's 4 seats for that. So I'd love to see all these senators still run for ANSF budget committee. But with that, Chair Temple, do you have a motion?
Yes, I do. I move to return to the approval of the agenda.
Yes, there's a motion to return to approval of the agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none.
If I may continue. All right, sorry, I can't hear. right? Tomorrow, am I good?
Yes, wait, I haven't seen if it was added to the agenda.
Understood. May I make the motion then?
Mm. Yes. You
All right,
made
move. All right, move to place fiscal bills 5507 and 5508 and the notice of legislation on third reading and are we doing the resolution?
Yes.
Move to place internal resolution 5503 onto notice of internal legislation on third reading.
There's a motion to put fiscal bill 5507, 5508, and resolution 5503 back on third reading. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. Chair Temple.
Move to reapprove the agenda.
There's a motion to reapprove the agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none.
Move to, well, I'll yield to Chairhurst.
Yeah.
Move to see resolution 5503, fiscal bill 5508, 07, and fiscal bill 5508 as a block on third reading.
There's a motion to see all of those as a block on third reading. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now seeing them as a block. Do we still have to do speeches, questioning, and debate? I think we do. I'll speak. So we all favorably voted on all of them with a pretty good majority. Pretty good majority. So with that, I yield to questioning. Chair Hurst.
It's not a question. It's a comment.
Then make it a debate. Chair Carter.
I wanted to ask a quick question. So would we be seeing the resolution and proclamation together?
Yes.
In that case, I object.
Oh, okay. Then.
Point of information. Point of
Chair-
information. Proclamations are only seen on two readings, first reading and second reading. Proclamation has already been passed.
That's what I meant. Unfortunately, Chair Carter, I think since I already had the speech, I don't think we can go back and object. Temple, can you confirm?
That wasn't, well, from when the speech has already been made, yes, but if Chair Carter wishes to see the proclamation has already been passed completely off the floor. Proclamation is only seen in two readings.
Okay. Carter.
Okay, so we're not seeing the proclamation recognizing August 23. Correct?
No.
If I may,
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
Right.
The proclamation for Black Business Fund has already been approved off the floor because proclamations are only seen on two readings. They don't need to be seen on third reading like a resolution that does.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, my brain is fried. Are there any questions for me? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Temple.
Move to debate.
Motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. The Chair Hurst.
Just for the resolution, as it is an ad hoc committee, I don't think we need to try and make the chair and vice chair only be legislators, only because as it is ad hoc and the ones that are trying to create it are from the judicial as well as executive, and they have the most knowledge on the subject, they would like to be the ones in charge of making it happen, and they're trying to get it done as quickly as possible. If there is a chair that does not understand what they're trying to do, it will make their jobs much harder and they will not know what they're doing. So I would say that if they were going to make this caucus permanent, we could have that discussion. But for now, I would not want to hinder make an obstacle for them to try and get this done so they can do their jobs.
Chair Carter.
So like we voted on the previous for second reading of this bill, I said I would abstain, but this time I will actually be voting against this bill. While I do really appreciate the sentiment of interbranch connections and working together, as well as helping students, Chair Khanna actually hit it like right on the point that she didn't say that she agreed, but it was on I agreed with the explanation she made that there is a long-term association and butterfly effect of kind of in support of the military complex. I do understand that it's not directly in correlation, but there is an association. And I don't believe that we should be having this caucus. And I don't want to misrepresent Chair Khanna by saying that she said this in full, but that she did understand other senators' sentiments.
ELA Richmond.
I will be voting in favor. I do believe that this committee should be chaired and vice chaired by someone who is directly affected by what is going on, so they can fully understand the issue, which these two do, as they've explained. So I think we'd really be doing a disservice to our students if we didn't let them like do this little like caucus and like chair it.
Chair Khanna.
Yeah, I'm still going to be voting against for the same reasons that I expressed before, as well as what Chair Carter reiterated there.
Also just a point of information. This is not really regarding the debate, but we are also voting on both the fiscal bills and this resolution at the same time. Senator Hochfelder.
Yeah, in terms of the physical bills and the resolution, I'll also be voting in favor. And for this ad hoc committee, I'll be voting in favor as well. I think the concerns about the association with the military industrial complex are real concerns, and I certainly understand and respect them. I just think in terms of helping out, our veterans and their dependents, really in terms of the military industrial complex, a lot of our veterans are the ones that get used and abused by them because they're just the instruments for them to make more profits. So again, I think the concerns are real. I think kind of the attention should be shifted more towards like Raytheon and all the military industrial complex firms that are in a 50-mile radius of DC. I just think the people that get used by them shouldn't be, I don't want to say scapegoated, but just shouldn't be not provided with benefits just because of their association, because I feel like they've already sacrificed quite a bit already. And yeah.
Chair Temple.
Question for you, Madam Speaker. Would it be best to unblock this so the votes could actually be better reflective within the minutes?
Are we able to unblock something?
If we're able, I believe so.
Because we saw it all the block, yeah.
Can I just make a point of clarification that I was
Nope.
not aware of? Borges has just reminded me that if a resolution got any no votes, it should not have been included in a block, so we have to remove it anyway.
Okay, thank you, Tyler, for pointing this out. We will just we will just pretend this didn't happen, and yeah, can you make a motion to get the fiscal bills?
Yeah, motion to see fiscal bills 5507 and 5508 as a block.
There's a
third
motion.
reading.
Oh, there's a motion to see fiscal bill 5507 and 5508 as a block on third reading. Are there any objections? Seeing none, I'll give the speech. We passed these pretty unanimously for the fiscal bills. So we can pass this quickly again because I'm trying to get out, but I yield to questioning. Chair Temple.
Seeing no questions, move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any questions? Are there any objections? Oh, it's not mandatory to remove it. Okay. That's fine. We already did so.
It's done.
Is there any debate? Chair Temple.
Mayor Tang. Bills look good. We should probably vote on them so the these RSOs can get funding. With that, move to vote on the block of fiscal bills.
There's a motion to go to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are voting. Thank you, Netta, for.
That is the
bringing me through
queen.
this.
We love her. Yeah, 12 minutes.
We'll be fine.
You have a clock. You have a clock on your computer. You're good. No. Oh, which one? You want an Oppenheimer clock in the back of the room?
With the vote count of 30, decorum. Guys, with a vote count of 35 to 2-0, fiscal bill 5507 and 5508 pass on third reading. Chair Yalman-Chile,
A motion, if I may.
you may. What is the motion?
Move to see resolution 5503 on third reading.
The motion to see resolution 5503 on third reading. Are there any objections? Seeing none. AG Moore, oh, sorry, Carter.
I object mainly because of time. We only have about 11 minutes left of Senate.
It's up to the people that want to introduce the bill.
We would really appreciate it if you guys voted on this resolution. You know, you cannot subject the people who serve that military industrial complex to, you know, leaving them out of everything and not allowing them to have representation when they served our country. And I think it's really important, you know, to be inclusive to all of our students. Thank you.
Carter, do you withdraw that motion? Or objection?
Yeah.
Okay. We're now about to enter speeches. Are there any objections? Chair Kanal.
I'm still going to object as a matter of time, as well as the fact that we are representing our constituents first and foremost. And I do think that the main issue here is procedural.
If this is related to the bill itself, we can do that in debate.
I'm still raising the objection because of time.
Okay, so there's some objection. Do you withdraw seeing this bill today?
Me?
Do we ask?
No.
No.
Netta?
No.
No.
We can stay a bit past 9.
So if not, we would have to go into something called pro con, and it takes way longer. So.
As we are wasting time at this point, I think we just move forward.
I feel like we should just debate it.
Debate what? Okay, so there's still an objection, and there's still. Do you withdraw the objection, or are you still?
I do not.
Okay, we're pro-conning it. So, AG, which will take 3 minutes in general. So, AG Moore, you have a minute to explain your side on why we should see it, and then Kanal has a minute to explain why she can, or why we shouldn't.
I think the student body is with UCF, in the student body, student government, we reflect every single student. So whether or not you partake with one group or another, it is up to us student government agents to have an inclusive student body and to include every single group on campus. Veteran students are actually protected in Title 11 in our code of ethics. So not being inclusive would not be ethical of this body. And I think that we should go on to hear this resolution because it's very important for Veterans Affairs students to be heard.
Is it okay if I use the time to speak as well?
Yeah, you can.
I think this caucus is really important. I understand senators who don't believe that other student government agents should sit as chair or vice chair, but we're really passionate about this topic and we don't see this part of the resolution as a problem.
Chair Kanal.
I agree that inclusivity is a core value of UCF, and I want us to embody that in SG. And part of that is acknowledging that all of our constituents come from many different backgrounds. And I do believe that this caucus is a great idea. But again, it's a matter of principle and separation of powers. I think it's important that we don't leave a note in this that, hey, chair and vice chair can be anyone. That can be something we add later on, depending on how the caucus goes. But to start that way, I don't like the way that looks.
So with that, we go into pro con. Pro is pro the objection, which is we're not going to see the bill today, and then and it is for what cannot standing for, and then con is we do see the resolution today, which is when I yielded to AG Moore.
Not yet.
No. I'm saying when we were pro-conning, I yielded it to you. With a vote count of 13 to 22, it is con. We're seeing the bill. Okay, this always confuses me. So is there a motion for speech, questioning, debate? Vice Chair Sandlin?
Motion for 1 minute speech, 1 minute questioning, 1 minute debate.
Since it's a little heated, can you extend the debate time?
1 minute speech, 1 minute questioning, 4 minute debate.
There's a motion for 1 minute speeches, 1 minute questioning, 4 minute debate. And then are there any objections? With that, I'll yield to AG Moore. And we can say like 5 minutes past 9, it'll be fine.
I just want to reiterate that this is a ad hoc caucus, and the reason why we put in that section regarding chair and vice chair is because there's no other student government agents who could represent the Veterans Affairs community, such as Andrew and I. We are a part of that community. We have been a part of that community. We grew up in that community and we understand it. And we also understand all of the rules and procedures that follow it. Having a chair that does not have the experience as us, it would not make it an efficient caucus, and hence there would be no point in it. So the reason why it's ad hoc and to allow us to be chair or vice chair is to not make it permanent. And if you do want to, for the next session, then the chair and the vice chair can be legislators, and they will have learned everything they need to know from us, from being on the committee while it was ad hoc caucus, before taking up that mantle.
Do you yield to questioning?
Yes.
We are now in questioning. There's 1 minute for questioning. Are there any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion then? Chair Temple.
Move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Vice Chair Sandlin. Is that objection or okay? You get.
I understand the concerns about supporting the military industrial complex, but the truth is this has nothing to do with that. This is a temporary caucus meant to solve a temporary issue. I promised you it's not going to spiral out into some pro-imperialism caucus. That's just not what's going to happen. I think we should go ahead and form this caucus so that these issues can be addressed and we can be done with it.
Chair Temple.
I have heard so much debate about a number of the caucus. For one thing, I do support it, and it's pretty much what Senator Vice Chair Sandlin has said. We are student governments, and as much as I understand the sentiments of some senators, we do not have any bearing whatsoever on the foreign affairs of the United States. We do not have any jurisdiction or any sort of influence regarding the military industrial complex. We are here to help students who are serving their country, and they go through a lot. And it is incumbent upon us as their representatives in order to provide that service to them. And on the question of the special circumstances outlined in the bill itself, as much as I have my reservations to this, I have plenty of reservations to this, but I am quite curious to see how this whole thing plays out. So that's where I stand on this at the moment.
Chair Yalamanchili, there's 2.5 minutes left.
All right, thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to reiterate the sentiments of Vice Chair Sandlin and Chair Temple in that this is not about the military industrial complex. This is not about the politicians or the Department of Defense who do whatever with our military. This is about students. This is about especially veteran students, military students, and their families. I have said this before, and I will say it again. This bill is not about the military industrial complex. It is about helping people get benefits that they deserve and need for their service to our country and to the dependents of military and veteran families as well. And so I will be supporting this bill. Historically, Senate has not had many military and veteran voices. And so I believe it is perfectly fine if the chair and the vice chair of such an ad hoc caucus come from outside of Senate, if that means that military and veteran families are being advocated for. Whoever is the best fit to advocate, I believe that's the person who should be chair. And so I'll be voting in favor, and I encourage my fellow senators to do the same as well. Thank you.
Chair Carter, you have a minute.
Can I extend it by 30 seconds?
You may.
I would like to start off my debate. Like AG Moore in the Associate Justice, I am part of the military community as well. I understand what it's like growing up in a family that has to deal with like military benefits, service, and the overall struggles of growing up with parents who served. And I do second that it is important to recognize that students should be cared for and we should be inclusive. There is no question that student government should not be inclusive. My main reservation is the long-term associations and that we have to see the future impact of what this could be. I don't want to set it as a disservice to students who need help because the benefit system, as AG Moore and Associate Justice have said, it is very tricky filling out paperwork and dealing with all the benefits that comes with being in military family, especially with insurance and medical care. It's just that I don't feel comfortable on, I just don't feel comfortable like voting for this resolution mainly because of the long-term associations.
Chair Kanai, you have 30 seconds.
Extend by 30 seconds.
Yes, only this once. I'm not seeing any more extensions because it's already 9.
I disagree with the sentiment that Senate can't provide perspective on its own. It certainly can, just as exec could. I think we will both be better off working together. And part of that is accepting that caucuses and committees are typically chaired by senators, vice chaired by senators. And in addition to that, I would say Carter, as well as myself, I personally have civilian auxiliary experience with the Air Force. I know there are plenty of other senators who have similar experiences. It's not going to be as direct as yours, which is why it's important to have both perspectives there. But again, this is a procedural matter that we can't set a precedent by just allowing to slide, in my opinion. So I'm against.
With that, debate time has elapsed. I will not be seeing any extensions due to time constraints. So we will be going to voting procedures. Thank you, all of you, for bearing with this 4-hour-long meeting. We didn't even get to all of our stuff, but it's fine. But with a vote count of 26 to 10 to 3, this resolution passes. Okay, I'm gonna speed run this miscellaneous business.
Thank you.
Elections, ENA, Senator Hurst, FAO, Senate, oh wait. I have to open, we have to open nominations for ENA, all against ENA, Senator Hurst. Yay or nay? I don't know how it works. Oh, aye and nay. Hearing no nay. FAO elections are opened. Aye or for Senator Nadella, aye or nay. Hearing no nay, we're moving on to appointments. SBA, Senator Hamid, Senator Daedalus, and then Black Caucus, Senator Daedalus, and then resignations from LJR, Senator Hurst. I think I got everyone. I'm gonna adjourn the, oh wait, final roll call. Sin-
Our team should adjourn because this is last meeting.
Oh,
Our team should adjourn. It's the last meeting.
okay, adjourn at 9:03 p.m. Woo!
Roll call, dude.
Oh, we have to do roll call?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, I thought we,
No.
Motion
Never
to
mind, I
adjourn pending
don't.
final roll call.
yeah.
Lazo,
Present.
Herrera,
Present.
Trainer,
Present.
Neva Crusat. Okay. eBay.
Here. Sorry.
Okay. eBay. Absent. Ganaw. Morissette.
Present.
Temple.
Present.
Born. Born. Absent. Bishop.
Present.
Kringle.
Present.
Daedalus.
Present.
Kara.
Present.
Butler.
Present.
Campbell. Campbell. Are they in the chat? Okay. Absent. Castillo. Lazier.
Present.
Pintel.
Present.
Hamid.
Present.
Larson.
Present.
Rose.
Present.
Whitson.
Here.
Yera.
Present.
Quiroga.
Present.
Carter.
Present.
Brown.
Present.
Samillo.
Present.
Hamayan.
Present.
Nadella.
Present.
Patel.
Present.
Yalamanchili.
Present.
Shaw.
Present.
Acosta.
Present.
Borges. Borges. Okay. Duke, excuse Hochfelder.
Present.
Holmes, excuse, absent. Hurst, Kazay. Kazay's here. Barnett. Barnett. Absent. Lacasse.
Present.
Polera.
Present.
Pullman.
Present.
Richmond.
Present.
And I'm here. Vasquez.
Present.
Kairos Rivera. Nope. Pro Tem DeMarla. And Matal. Okay. He's here. Okay, 42 out of 49. Quorum is verified.